All right. All right. What is going on? How is everybody doing on a Friday? And man, I don't get a chance to do this often, but I am here on a Friday. Happy Friday to everyone here in Atlanta Bird Gang and also on Uncle Steve's Sports Lounge. How's it going? Uh, Man, we had some fun yesterday, folks. I see you out there, Andre. How you doing? Armani, what's going on? Brother Dave on YouTube, brother. I appreciate you giving me some love out there. Um, just excited to be in the house, man, and just trying to see how everybody's feeling out there after day one and joining me on this journey into day two and into what we're gonna do as far as right now. Yesterday was the popping circumstance. Yesterday was the big to do about things, and now now it's about filling out this roster. Right now, it's about getting, get the next round started, getting these folks, getting some people on the job. I see today we have us a new quarterback. We got us a quarterback, y'all. We're gonna get into that in a little bit. First, before I even start, I want to thank everyone yesterday, and I'm trying to tell you, y'all, we had a ball yesterday. My brother Tidy, Marcus, Quintez, Nick, and Brian, who wasn't able to make it with Brian, who was able to give us the T-shirts, and it has been integral in starting things up. I just appreciate all that yesterday, man. That was so cool. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna do something like that. I'm sure it coming close to the season. But that was just fun getting together with the brothers and doing some things. Today we got to fill out this roster, y'all. We got to fill out this roster. And we're looking for specific things, I'm sure. We definitely still need a running back, still need all positions open on defense. There is not a position that we couldn't use any help in. So I'm pretty open to everything on defense. But after today, I found out we don't need to hurry up and draft another quarterback because we saved the day. AJ McCarron is here. Yeah. Okay. I'm obviously being facetious. AJ McCarron, who was a winner in Alabama. No, to get me wrong, 2-time national champ. Can't deny that. College legend, had a stacked team. Only thing I remember him for is Brett Musburger gawking at his girlfriend on the national championship game. I remember that. So just just some thoughts. Hey, listen, we knew we were going to have to fill out the roster. We knew we were going to have to get somebody to come in and from a veteran standpoint. And I'm sorry that it's nothing about it that moves the meter, but at the same time, I understand that they have to do the things they have to do to fill out the roster. I have no problem with the AJ McCarron pickup. And remember, folks, this free agent thing from the Falcons, this isn't like 2017 where folks were saying, hey, coming off the Super Bowl, let me see what I can come over there and help y'all with. This is all those folks who couldn't get signed day 1, 2, 3, 4, and I don't know what day this is now, but day 46 and don't have a job. That's the kind of folks we're looking at. We're looking at the folks sitting on the outside of the building who are not here probably because Atlanta was their first choice. They're here because that's all that's left. All that's left right now is some of these guys that are saying, hey, I need a job. Can y'all help me out? And that's where we are. We're at that tier. So welcome to Atlanta, AJ McCarron. Glad to have you. Good to see you coming in here to share some stuff with you. After today, I want to make sure before I get started to congratulate Kyle Pitts, our #1 pick. I know we did it yesterday. I was definitely in a different mindset yesterday, but I'm not naive. This cat, Kyle Pitts, is going to be a special dude. And if we take care of him, and if Arthur Smith uses him as he plans on using him, folks, this is nothing but advantageous to the Atlanta Falcons franchise. So he personally, I welcome him here. I wish him well, and I hope he takes this offense or helps to take this offense to another level. And I mean that. I do. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about team. Also, on that note, I want to give a special shout out to Matt Ryan. As you see, not only am I wearing a Matt Ryan jersey, I'm wearing the Vapor White Matt Ryan jersey. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm wearing this jersey. Now that we're past day one, and you know what? Whether we made another decision or not yesterday, folks, barring catastrophic injury, this is going to be the guy that's running out there in September on day one. This is going to be the guy that's going to be leading our team. And if it's not your team, then you're probably in the wrong group. But we can cry, we can yell, we can scream, we can have fits on TV during a live stream in the Atlanta Bird game like yesterday. But the dust is settled, the comments are made, the criticisms are given. At the end of the day, Matt Ryan is going to be our quarterback. So, does that mean I'm not going to be critical of Matt going forward? No, that's not what that means. I'm going to criticize Matt just like I'm going to criticize Julio, just like I'm going to criticize Ridley, just like I'm going to criticize Grady if they're doing things that are not conducive to winning. The Matt Ryan debacle was all about changing back to winning ways. And as much as Matt Ryan is not the only part of that equation, he is a big part. I've told everyone as much as I could. The position of quarterback is the most polarizing in North America. There is no position more important in North American sports than the quarterback. And you're the quarterback of a franchise that's lost 3 years in a row. Yesterday, the brain trust of Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith said, we can take Kyle Pitts and the rest of this draft, which is why we're here tonight, and try to see what we can do to help this team and make them better. And you know what, y'all? I remember when they first got hired. I remember when Arthur Smith came in here and I said, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. I remember when Terry Fontenot came a little bit after and I said, I'm going to give them a shot. So why am I going to jump off the bandwagon immediately the day after? As a matter of fact, y'all, no one ever heard me say I wasn't going to be a Falcon fan. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. You're smoking. That's not what I'm saying. I had a different philosophy. I had a different way I thought there was to get there. But you know what? Now that we've made that decision, it's time to move forward. Let's move forward with it. We're a couple of picks away from the Falcons, who are at 35. So we're going to poke our heads in and see what they're going to do. Obviously, with the signing of A.J. McCarron, that doesn't mean that we still may not pick a I see the Isley brothers out here. That brother Ron Isley, man, I don't know who makes his suits, man, but Ron Honsley. I just want his Taylor for one day. He got the little gray beard going on too, so maybe I can get whoever that is to get him up. But it's all good. But going back to the Matt Ryan thing, listen, it's not personal, folks. It's not personal. When that ball is hyped on September whatever, and we're out there, I'm gonna yell and scream for Matt Ryan to be as successful as he can, and I'm hoping that he brings us the Super Bowl that this city, that this community, that this area deserves. I mean that with everything I say. That's why I'm wearing his jersey. I'm going to wear his jersey during the year. I'm going to wear the T-shirt during the year. I'm going to support him during the year. But that does not mean that I'm not going to hold him accountable when things go south. That does not mean if things happen to not go the way that they planned, like Terry and Arthur planned, that I'm not going to call it out. But I'm not going to go to I told you so. I'm not going to go to all of that. That's wasted time, wasted energy. Right now, we need to focus our energy on picking up some draft picks and making this team better. That's what that's all about. The goal is to make this team better, folks. So we're going to start that tonight, man. And I'm going down the list. I see y'all already to popped on. Appreciate y'all coming through. Brother Andre, what's going on? He says he's excited for round 2 and 3. What's going on, Brother Armani? Andre said, I see you with my boy MR3. You can no longer wear his number after last night. Andre, again, just like when you get mad at your kids sometimes, and you might not want to see them for one day because you're too hot at them. The next day you come back, everything's good. Some things happen like that. It is what it is. But I'm Team Falcon. And as long as Matt is wearing the red and black, and in this case, vapor white, that's my quarterback. So I say, what's going on, Brick? How you doing? My brother Marquise, what's up? Octavius, how you doing? Say, getting that down. I ordered my Kyle Pitts. That was an interesting number choice, the number 8. And I know we just had the rule changes about single digits. That's an interesting number choice he made. I can see. Tidy, what's going on, my friend? And I can't say enough good things about my brother last night that had to deal with my antics yesterday. I appreciate you. Yeah, and Brian Edwards, again, just a shout out to Brian, not only for the T-shirts yesterday, and y'all just don't know behind the scenes, he helped us organize that whole thing. Without his help, we wouldn't have been able to do what we did yesterday. Just a big shout out to Brother Brian. Kevin, what's going on, man? I'm saying defensive back, then quarterback, maybe the defense if in out of Wake Forest, running back tomorrow. I'm saying, keep seeing a lot of stuff about the guy from Georgia, the defensive end out of Georgia as well. Lisa, how you doing? Draft day number 2. Let's go. Absolutely got to fill it out. Andre said, bro, you were hot. I was not hot, Andre. I was just expressing myself. Maybe a little volatile, but I was expressing myself. We got to bring you back on too, Andre. You were some entertaining last night. Brother Dre, how you doing, sir? Did you see he's going to wear number 8? I did see that. Absolutely. Lisa, the writing was on the wall once Matt's contract was restructured. I was team draft a quarterback, but I knew in my heart it wasn't going to happen. So given that, let's freaking go Kyle Pitts. And that's basically what it is, folks. Look, a few years ago, I didn't want Vic Beasley. I wanted Shane Ray, but it turns out that was just as bustable too that year that we went in the draft. But hey, sometimes things don't go your way. To Lisa's point, get back on the horse and go with the team. Go, your Team Falcon. If last night's draft was enough to make you not a fan, I apologize. You probably weren't a fan of the Falcons anyway. If one move by guys, and we have to give this regime a chance. Yeah, in the moment, it's hard. Yeah, you get caught up with your emotions. Of course, I wanted a quarterback, but at the same time, I have to make sure that we give these guys an opportunity to say, you know what? If I take these particular individuals, let's see what I can do. Who knows? Arthur Smith might turn this whole thing around, and we'll be talking instead of talking draft in December, we'll be talking playoff seeding in January. That's what I want to do. That's the end game. Dre said, who's going to wear number 8? That'd be Brother Pitts. Dre, how do you feel about getting Mon tonight? You know, Dre, I wouldn't mind getting Mon. I'm not even sure if we're going to have to stretch for Mon tonight. Mon might leak into the 4th round. The good thing is we're pretty high either way in all the top parts of the draft. But we do need to get another young quarterback. You got your veteran quarterback. Now it's time to get your rookie to come in there. Michael, how you doing, brother? He said, I got beat up, but I'm still here. That's what it's all about, brother, the comeback. I want Sermon from Ohio State. I actually had my eyes on Sermon as well. When we got off yesterday, they had a run on running backs, which is interesting. Najee to the Steelers. I did not think he would go that high. And then Edmonton going to hang out with his buddy Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. That's a pretty good move right there to keep the consistency between those guys. That's some pretty sharp stuff they did. But yes, Sermon. I've been on the Sermon bandwagon from Ohio State. Of course, he started out with Oklahoma and transferred to Ohio State, and he showed you at the end of the year that, yeah, he's serious. And now with Mike Davis, Trey Sermon possibly, or any running back, we really just need to get another running back. I see Jacksonville is coming up to the plate. We'll see what they do in a second. Darius says, we have the most terrible fans. Tight end Pitts is a once-in-a-lifetime tight end. Here's the thing, Darius, again, it was nothing against Pitts. This whole narrative about a quarterback had more to do with the production of the Atlanta Falcons at the top. Again, Matt Ryan being the quarterback, he is he's the head guy. He's the guy that everybody listens. Another Georgia guy coming off the board, Tyson Campbell, coming off the board going to Jacksonville. But Matt represents the head of this franchise. He represents the captain. He's the man. And for the last 3 years, the last 3 losing campaigns, you have to start looking at those positions and those players who are leading the ship. The Matts, the Julios, the Gradys, fair or unfair. You have to start looking at those people who are leading you. And I think that's what you have. That's why it was never anti-Pitts. If you ever notice what I kept saying about a position, the position of tight end, when you're 4-12, coming off 2 losing seasons in a row, if I didn't even look at the roster of a team, if I never laid eyes on the roster of the team, the first thing I would say is, man, they might need a new leader to shake that stuff up. That's the way I was thinking. But Arthur Smith has a plan. They seem pretty excited. I got a feeling Arthur Smith probably won the fight, won the battle over who was getting on the offense. So he knows his reputation is at stake. That's what I get out of that, y'all. Dre says, I think we select Mon with 35th pick. Kevin said that boy open casket sharp. Kenneth said fans can critique their teams. Absolutely they can, Kenneth. And it's okay. It doesn't make you less of a fan to critique. You know what the fan I don't like? I don't like the fan that just sits back and says, yeah, well, we lost again, but, Matt's our guy. And I'm saying that because it's another group that I'm pretty sure y'all familiar with. They have some folks over there that I'm trying to tell you, Matt can throw 6 interceptions and their response well, at least he didn't throw 7 instead of, what's wrong with Matt? I don't mind the fan that's just overly protective of their team, but this is a whole different day now. This day now where we have to be honest and look ourselves in the mirror and say, we're not 7-9, 7-9, 4-12 because we're doing things right. So to me, a change at quarterback would have meant not to say we were kicking Matt out in 2021, but it would have meant that at least we were saying things have to change. With yesterday's pick of Kyle Pitts, that lets you know that we're going all in this year and probably next year to try to make this team one of the best in the NFL. And you know what? I have no evidence that it won't work. You started with a great piece. Pitts is the truth. He is. He just represented a position that, in my opinion, we probably didn't need to invest in at the time. But listen, that's gone. Day one is gone. We can't go get it back. Can't go get Justin Fields back. And I was watching some of these folks. And Justin Fields going, I'm leaving. I'm going to get a Chicago jersey. Well, leave then. You're in the wrong group. It's okay to get mad we didn't get him, but dude, if you're going to jump and go to Chicago because Justin Fields got drafted to Chicago, you need to kick it there, man. Go. I'm mad as the next person, but that's ridiculous. Daniel says, Ryan is the guy, and I criticize him like anybody else. Y'all underestimating Dean Pease. Nobody's underestimating Dean Pease. Matter of fact, I hope Dean Pease is a genius. Because if you have Isaiah Oliver and Kendall Sheffield back there to work with, and your job is to change them into legitimate defenders, yeah, your job is, you got your job ahead of you. Nobody's underestimating them. Michael says, Felipe Franks, be all right. Brick says, I hope we grab Campbell. Justin said that Mega Beast safety is still on the board. Move on down here. Got a lot of stuff. Thank y'all. Dexter, Falcons about to draft safety out of TCU. Let's see if that happens. Arlen says, love it or hate it, Matt Ryan will be here for at least 2 more years. We all know it takes Matt a year to learn the offense and get comfortable with it. So 2023, we should be wide open offensively. This year and next year's draft, extremely important. In 2023, we go deep in the playoffs or win the Super Bowl. What do you want to see from this team in the next 2 years? Please don't state the obvious, a Super Bowl. I mean, that is the obvious though. But I know what you're saying. Listen, right now, I would like to see this team be balanced. For the last couple of years, it's not a coincidence that Matt has been close to the leader in yardage every year. And that's probably because that's all we've been able to do. It's not like they didn't try last year to go get Gurley and hope that he would revitalize himself and hope that his arthritic knees were going to come back for us and give us some type of balance. That didn't work out. But with Arthur Smith here, it's obvious. The man who ran probably the best run game over the last 2 to 3 seasons, to bring him here to Atlanta to say, let's get balance. So if that's the question you're asking me, I think you work hard, extra hard, to try to get your run game to somehow stop us from throwing 35 to 40 times a game. A true game plan. That's why Ryan Tannehill looked so great, folks. Ryan Tannehill wasn't told to go out there, or his job wasn't to go out there and throw the ball 50 times. Arthur Smith believed in that run game, and he ran it, and he ran it, and he kept running it. And when it wasn't successful, he ran it again. And the point is to get you to have a balanced offense. So that's my thought, to do everything in your power, Arlen, to get this running game jump started. Norman says we gotta ride with who we got, Steve. I'm on board. Let's go. That's pretty much what you got to do. Isaiah Ojulari, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. The guy from Georgia. Absolutely, you gotta roll with him. Got the calls going in today. 1-877-747-2346. Caller, how you doing? This is Steve. Talk to me.
This is Ricky, man. What's going on?
Ricky, my brother, how you feeling, man? How you feeling today?
Well, I'm feeling a little bit better, man. I had a chance to sleep on the picture these days, and I was with you on last night, and I'm still with you. You can't help but harp on it because I keep continuing to tell people all the time. It was a good pick because I do believe we got the best available player outside of the quarterback realm.
I agree.
But we got to have, but you got to have a quarterback that's going to throw to him. So kind of like I'm playing devil's advocate, if you want to say.
Okay.
Could it be, Steve? Let me ask you this question, and then just tell me how you feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
Could it be that this is not so much Arthur Smith, because Arthur Smith was in, and looks like the Denver trade.
Yeah, Denver looks like they jumped up.
Yeah, they just jumped it. They just traded with us. So I guess we're gonna get some kicks with them. And let me ask, could it be devil's advocate, sir, that maybe Terry Fontenot is kind of like setting Matt Ryan up? And I'm gonna explain what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Ryan should have no excuse not to have an MVP season.
True.
Should Julio stay? Okay, let's just say.
Okay.
Should Julio stay? Matt Ryan should have no reason not to have an MVP season.
And it's true. I mean, you're giving him, to your point, the most talented prospect outside a quarterback in the draft. And
on paper.
Right. Okay, let's before you go forward right quick, Ricky, I just want to update the draft. They get the Falcons get the 40th overall pick, and then they also get a 4th round pick. So that'll be 2 4th round picks for the Falcons. So tomorrow is turning out to be so we get a 4th rounder and switch with them with the 40th pick. So we're not that far back. We only went back 6 picks in the 2nd round, and we gained a 4th round pick, and we gave up one of our 6th round picks. So we get 2 higher picks. I apologize, Ricky. Keep going, my brother.
You good, and then I talked about, and I also saw that we shot in the Karen. So
okay.
So we'll see. So let me ask. So you arguably on paper have the best receiving core in basketball.
Right.
Let's just put it down. Arguably on paper, if Julio doesn't leave, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Hayden Hurst, Kyle Pitts to throw to. Not to mention Zacchaeus is good, Gage is good. So you got a plethora of weapons to throw to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So you have no reason to look like a deer caught in headlights.
Right.
You have no reason to miss Hayden Hurst wide open in the end zone like you did all year long. All year.
None.
No
excuses.
Once a game in the red zone, he missed Hayden Hurst.
No excuses. No excuses whatsoever.
Could it be that Terry Fontenot is I can't say Arthur Smith because to my understanding, Arthur Smith ain't not wanting that to leave no way. We got that one.
Right.
Could it be Terry saying, okay, Matt, this is a prove it year for you. You're going to have to prove your worth because what we're doing is we're eliminating excuses. We're giving you a run game. We're giving you prime targets to throw to because you can't double that entire wide receiver core. You can't. Somebody's going to be open. I don't care which way you look at it. Julio gonna be open. Kyle gonna be open. Ridley gonna be open. Hayden Hurst always open because Hayden Hurst is amazing. Somebody gonna be open. So now you have no excuse to throw one interception and duck balls.
And you're right. You set it up perfectly for him. And to your point, no excuses. For the record, that pick was Javonte Smith. So, man, that's one more running back off the board. I would love to get my hands on. It'll be interesting to see how far down, because really, when you start looking at it, I think Trey Sermon is one of the guys I put my hands on as somebody that could be one of the best running backs available. But again, you still have plenty of folks to choose from. Ricky,
I'm thinking we might get Trey.
I'm thinking we could too. But listen, I'm looking at the teams ahead of us. Philadelphia, are they really set? I know they have the little young kid, the little quick kid out of Penn State that's still up there. Cincinnati, Carolina, who have McCaffrey, and then us. Let's see where that goes, because look, we need a plethora of defense as well. These Isley brothers, man, I'm trying to tell y'all folks, and I'm sorry that I keep switching this sermon, but Ron Isley has got to be the coolest brother in America, because he already was showing out that day on the Versus with Earth, Wind, and Fire with that suit. But I'm just trying to tell you, I am super jealous of that. Ron Isley is all that. Let me circle back to your original point when you were talking about Matt Ryan being put on notice. He is, Ricky. I think you would have put him on notice even more by taking a quarterback. But to your point, no excuses. I will take nothing less. No excuses this year when it comes to the Falcons. Man, we are hot and heavy today, Ricky, man. I'm gonna let you roll, brother, and we're gonna go with you tomorrow, because we'll be here tomorrow too on the draft, brother. Keep signing in on these comments, my friend.
We're coming, man.
Thank you, my friend.
I gotta get one of them Bird Gang shirts, man. You gotta give me one.
Hey, Tidy, I'm a Tidy. If you get a chance, man, shoot in and give me an update. Use that same link. Matter of fact, I'm gonna send it to you in a second. If you get a chance, brother, pop in for me and talk to him about that. Thank you, Ricky. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate y'all, man, doing that. Yeah, so Javonte, man, I apologize. Dude, it's two things. I love when y'all call me, but y'all have no idea how busy sometimes these lines get. I know yesterday we had a lot of y'all trying to call, and it was in between the picks and in between the talk. And I want to get a healthy balance, because I want to hear y'all, but at the same time, I know y'all also come here to hear us talk. So I don't want to take that away. Either way, I appreciate it. I appreciate the love. 1-877-474-2346. Let me skip down to some of these picks. I see everybody's already responding to the trade. Again, I guess your thought is you're moving up in quality by getting another 4th round pick, which is great. Keep moving up. Listen, you can probably still get other running backs. I know the last running back that we're talking about is Trey Sermon, but as far as people who were voted high, but let's see what we can get out of this pick. Caller, how you doing? This is Steve. You're in Atlanta Bird Gang and Uncle Steve's Sports Lounge on YouTube. How y'all doing today?
Steve, what's going on, buddy?
How you doing, man? That you, Rusty?
That is.
Man, Rusty, you know what? I gotta fix my my little ID thing, man. I got this super cheap office phone that I have working, but it's gonna have to do the job. My brother, I've been watching you online, and I know Pitts was one of the guys that you definitely you were team quarterback for a minute, but you kind of were talking us off the ledge saying Pitts was a good move. How do you feel about it this morning and this evening now?
I don't think we can really complain just because Arthur Smith, he likes the 2 tight end set.
Right.
And let me get back to you. I don't think I've actually talked to you in person since the whole I did my jump to Team Pitt. I remember last time we spoke, I told you I was Justin Fields.
You did.
And then Pitt got his pro day, and I'm not going to lie, I got sucked in a little bit. And they started saying, oh, he'd be a perfect fit, and Arthur fits offense, 2 tight end set. So, then I started to think, I was like, well, when they restructured Matt Ryan's contract, as much as I wanted to draft a quarterback number 4, you got to think, Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot, they didn't come in to tank the first 2 seasons so they could develop a quarterback. Arthur Smith probably seen Matt Ryan and said, you know what, I made Ryan Tannehill work, I can make Matt Ryan work.
True.
So then I started thinking about it, and I said, Pitt, Ridley, Julio, Hurst, and if we get a running back, that could be a lethal offense. But I don't know if you know this, but right before the draft, about a week before the draft, I switched back, and I was back on the field bandwagon.
Right.
And the reason that is because the rumors came out about them wanting to trade Julio. And I said, all right, well, if we get Pitts, I said, I want him on the same field as Julio. I don't want to draft Pitts to replace Julio. I want all these guys running routes at the same time. I want to bring the 2016 offense back.
There you go.
Draft Pitts.
There you go.
I don't want to trade Julio and draft Pitts and say, oh, that's Julio's replacement. If we drafted Pitts, I don't want Julio going anywhere right now.
And think about this, Rusty. You made a just point, and I know that's the first thing people say going back to 2016. Think about it. If you still have Julio, and let's face it, Julio wouldn't be 2016, but he's still Julio. You have an upgrade at your other wide receiver. We had Mohamed Sanu. You would have Calvin Ridley. At tight end, you had Austin Hooper. I don't think it's any doubt in my mind that Kyle Pitts will be an upgrade over Austin Hooper. Think about this. That would be such a better move to me if you ask me. That would just be really great. I think it would.
Now, I'm not gonna lie though, I felt bad for Justin Fields last night because it was funny. Tidy made a post about a month ago in the group, and he said, can you imagine if Justin Fields was to fall to us, he'd be sitting there with big puppy dog eyes, hoping his, probably his favorite team growing up draft him.
Right,
so
right.
It was part of, when Roger Goodell started saying with the 4th pick, there was part of me, I was hoping he said Justin Fields.
Right.
But then, it's like Kyle Pitts. They're talking about this kid being the best tight end to come out in the last 10 to 15 years. Now, I know hype is a lot. You got to get on the field and play. But, boy, if Matt Ryan can keep his crap together and, stop. When he throws those deep balls,
right,
you have to stop quacking. If they can get there a little bit faster and hit these receivers in stride, I think Arthur Smith I think him and Fontenot were smart. I tell everybody when they speak, it's intelligent. They talk about X's and O's a lot,
Right.
As to where we didn't really hear, in my opinion, I don't think Dan Quinn was really the X's and O's type guy. Dan Quinn struck me as like, a rah-rah and motivate these guys, which is good. Hey, everybody says you want a leader of men. I think Dan Quinn was that and more, but I'm telling you, Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith, these guys, I think they're next level.
If you go back, Rusty, and you go through the history of our and especially the image of our head coach, we were coming off Jim Mora, who was basically a moron that let Mike Vick run him pretty much out of a job. You went to Mike Smith, who was coming in to be a disciplinarian. I don't even include Bobby Petrino because that doesn't even count. Mike Smith came in as a disciplinarian, but was also looked at somebody who was kind of boring. That's why we made the big move splash for Julio to bring some life to the offense. But Mike Smith was looked at as kind of, hey, by the book. And to be honest with you, in retrospect, probably was the best coach we've ever had and as a head coach. When you went to Dan Quinn, you needed an infusion of excitement and a little bit. You say rah-rah. That's what I always say. Somebody who was rah-rah at the time. Of course, that looks great when you're winning. But once you start, think about Pete Carroll. He came from that Pete Carroll tree at Seattle. But when Pete Carroll is rah-rah, he's winning every year. When you start losing, that stuff, that player coach stuff plays low. So I like the fact that we finally come to somebody that's known for their X and O. We haven't had truly a head coach that is known for a game plan probably since what? Dan Reeves. You got to give Dan Reeves credit. Dan Reeves knew his offense. He ran his offense. You got to get, that's the last true person that knew an offense, right?
Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you, Dan Reeves, that was before I became a Falcons fan. I know we never discussed it, but I became a Falcons fan about 2002 when Michael Vick got drafted. And at the time, I was probably 11 years old, so my Falcons knowledge only goes back to about 2002.
Got it.
But it's been hardcore, diehard ever since then, you know?
I know you have, and I know, Rusty, you got your Vapor White Matt Ryan on too. So I hope next time you come on here that you tell everybody you're displaying it just like your Uncle Steve. My friend, you take care of yourself, Rusty. Keep on hollering at us down the line, my friend.
All right, buddy. Keep updated on these picks because I'm at work right now.
I got you. We coming up, brother. Thank you, man. On YouTube, Winston asks, does anybody know what we picked up? We picked up the fourth round pick from Denver, Winston. We picked up the fourth round pick, and we only went back a couple of slots. Matter of fact, we're getting ready to come up in a couple of seconds because the Bears just had their picks just a second ago. Caller, how you doing? This is Steve here in Atlanta Bird Gang and YouTube, Uncle Steve Sports Lounge. Identify yourself.
What's up, Uncle Steve? You know what it is, Dre.
What's going on, Dre? How you doing, my friend? Why you trying to call me out, bro? Why? Look, man. Look.
I said, no, he don't have the cocaine white jersey on.
The clean white jersey too, man. I don't think I'm trying to think. Had I worn this since mid-season, man? It's that clean, Dre.
Yeah, it's clean. It's definitely clean.
Dre, I'm glad you came on because again, the shock and awe and the decision to go away from what some had anticipated quarterback. Be honest with you, the majority thought it was going to be tight end. I've really started to look deep and say to myself, okay, let's see if this works. The only part of the equation, Dre, is how good Matt is going to be. That's my only part of this equation. It looks good on paper, but can our quarterback come through? Do I need to have faith in the fact that he's going to come through under Arthur Smith, or do I still need to have an asterisk by this pick at number 4?
Oh, see, here you go with the Matt Ryan. I can talk all day. I don't want to seem like a run. I hate that y'all say that.
Right.
I ride with my quarterback. So I believe, honestly and truly, and I know people are not going to agree with me, which is cool, but I believe Matt Ryan's issue the last few years has been our offensive line.
Okay.
People can say whatever they want to say, but that man had 140 sacks. Yeah, some of them were from him, but majority of them were not. Right. If that man has time in the pocket, a good 4 to 5 seconds, which is normal, that man is deadly. Do I believe he's on a decline? Absolutely. Do I still believe he can get us there? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I believe, like I said yesterday, and I've been saying for months, he is at his best when we have play action. If we get us a running back that is worth anything, I believe we'll be right back in shape.
I want you to stay with me, Dre, because Atlanta Falcons, the pick is in. Just a couple of seconds before they pick, where do you think we go with this this second pick? Is there any position that steps out at you for this second round pick? Especially the mere fact that we went back, so we thought we must have felt pretty good about.
Now, had we not went back, I was thinking, like, when the day started, I was thinking, you know what, maybe we passed on the quarterback first round before Mon. And in my opinion, Mon, and I know, again, I'm going to be the only one who say this, I like Mon better than I like Justin Fields, because to me, he's a combination of like a Dak Prescott, Colin Kaepernick. Like, he can fling that ball, you know, and he can run a little bit, which I like. So I don't know. Now I'm totally confused. We got a quarterback today, which I knew we were going to do for veteran purpose.
Veteran,
and,
right.
You know, and to just have. I still believe we're going to get a quarterback, but I don't know if we're going to get one now, especially moving back. But I would like to see Mon.
I like Mon.
Mon would be next.
I like Mon, and people have to remember too. Mon took Texas A&M looked like crap against Alabama, but every other team, they actually showed up pretty well. And no, is he somebody that you sit back and just say he's going to be that great? I don't think so, but maybe under the right coach, maybe he can step his game up. So, let's see if they do go with that. I was under the impression, I see somebody just came at Justin, and Justin, I do echo that. I kind of thought Mon would be somebody that you might be able to sneak in the third round, but we'll see.
Right.
I see Mon possibly second, but I also say, I was looking at somebody talking about Trey Sermon and injury, but we'll see. The pick is in now, folks, and we are going with, let's see who they got. If they can stop all this.
I tell you, I will be extremely excited if it's defense. I will be.
Yeah, defense is definitely a need. I think after you go past running back and quarterback, which will definitely be two picks to me, I think the rest of it should be defense.
Absolutely.
So they got
yeah, absolutely.
They went with safety Richie Grant from the University of Central Florida, 3-time all first team AAC safety. Safety is a position we definitely need. So it's not like we can't say we didn't need a safety. I would be lying. I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend like I've been watching Central Florida's all of Central Florida's game over the last 2 years. They on ESPN, they say he's compared to Malcolm Jenkins, and if that's the case, that's a good comparison. But we did need a safety, Andre.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like like I said during the season, which I kind of like. We have speed, so I do like that we got someone who's probably going to take us to a 3-4. So yeah, I'm happy with defense, especially if they speedy guys.
And let's keep it real. Again, there should be no complaints about us picking any defensive players in this draft. And what I like about having a veteran coach like Dean Pease, that you have folks in there right now that's on your defense. You have no superstars. You have Grady Jarrett, who is really solid in the middle, but you don't have anybody that's coming in there saying, well, he can't coach me. Everybody in there should be super coachable. Most of them are pretty young. Who's the oldest person on our squad right now in the back? On the back end. Who's the oldest person as far as defense is concerned?
That's a good point.
I don't think. I'm trying to think. Is there a 30-year-old on our defense?
I don't think so. I think we're right around the 27, 28 arranged. But also, don't forget, I will say the one thing I do not want us to see, because the man is a monster, we definitely don't need to draft a middle linebacker. Because Big O got that sewn up.
Yeah. Well, look, remember, we got some contract negotiation to do too, because I'm trying to tell you, you better not let Fourier get out of here.
Oh, no.
You better not.
He is a monkey. Let everything else go. And you got to keep Big O. You got Big O.
Fourier to me, Eric Harris is 31. I did not know that. Thank you, Isaiah. That's about as old as you get, though. And I think what my point was, these guys should be pretty coachable as far as the Falcons defense. When you start talking about these young boys, I said they should be, nobody should be coming in there saying, I got these many skills. I mean, you should have a group that's listening to you, and you should have a group that should be pretty productive and listening to some coaching down the line.
I don't know, man. I don't know if it's the naivete fan in me or what, but I just want to say, everybody calm down. Don't have a fire sale. There was a reason Justin Fields slid as far as he did. We don't know what, the insiders know. But there was a reason he slid as far as he did. Calm down, people. I think our Dirty Birds going to be just fine. I really do.
Dre, I know we're going to be fine, brother, because me and you going to hold it down even if everybody else jump ship, brother.
And I'm going to tell you now, when my man put up 2,000 better than 2016, that man going to put up 43 touchdowns this year. I'm going to tell you, come January, take that jersey off.
Right. Absolutely. But
remember, I called it here.
I hear you, Dre. Dre, I appreciate you, my brother. We're gonna let you go and catch you down the line. I appreciate you. Jump in anytime, my friend.
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. All right, so sounds like we all got see Chauncey. Chauncey says, please do your homework. Just because you don't know who Grant is, don't sleep on him. Richie Gant is a very good pick and fit. Dean P said, what you talking about? Don't sleep on him. You must be talking to somebody else. How are you going to give how do you give a prediction on somebody that you don't know? Chauncey, it's 400, 500 players coming out in this draft, bro. I don't have a guide on every one of them. I hope you're not talking to me. I call it like I see it. I don't know who he is. And if I don't know who he is, it's going to be hard for me to give a good opinion about him. You know what? He's a body. So he's a body that plays defense. So that's a plus for the Falcons in any way. But yeah, don't get kind of funky like that, because I don't have to do my homework. You do your homework. Yeah, do your homework, bro. Yeah, Fourier. Anthony says Fourier is a young blood. How can we watch? It says the content isn't available. What you looking at, Frankie? You talking about on you on which part, Frankie? I don't know what you. I don't know what you're talking about, Frankie. I know you were on YouTube yesterday. I'm on. Obviously, you on the line. How can we watch content? You got to break down what you're telling me there, Frankie. I apologize, my brother. Isaiah says I preferred Johnson over from Indiana over Grant, but he was rated among the top 5 safeties. Okay, that's cool. Brother Anthony says, I don't think it was directed at you, Steve. Hey, God dang it, y'all start telling each other who you're talking to, because if you start a post and don't say it, I'm going to take it personally. So, and then I give you some smoke. Okay, look, I see you, Chauncey. I wasn't talking to you. I was saying, Chauncey, Look, I don't get my feelings hurt, god dang it, but I just like, all right, now make sure you say that ain't you, Steve. So we good. I appreciate y'all giving me the info though, because I want to learn. I'm not gonna sit here and try to act like I know everything. I appreciate every piece, every nugget y'all bring me. So keep it coming, brother Chauncey. I appreciate you, brother. No, I don't think anybody's look. Yeah, don't let the one person that doesn't know anything say. I did see somebody say it was a dud pick, but I'm saying, yeah, don't let that twist you. I'm about at this point right now on a 4-12 team. I'm not gonna sit here from the second round on down and be super horrible about people that they're saying that needs to come into this franchise. We need all the help we can get. And at this point, we don't even have I'm not sure we have the money to pay these cats. So, we better start looking at some of this stuff, man. All right, looking at Marlon say, I wanted Andre Sison. He is like Jamal Adams, but a lot of injuries. Definitely happy with Grant. Good to see you come on there. Ricky say, do you think we'll be able to pick up another free agent? Safety and free agent. It depends on that money, Rick. I don't know. I don't know. We judging by what I see, and they saying we got insufficient funds. So I'm not sure we'll be able to get anybody, man. Rusty say Jalen Hawkins, just like my comment on Instagram. Good. I mean, but let me tell you, I like Jalen Hawkins too, and I forgot he was still in the mix. I like Jalen Hawkins on our team. Dre come back and say Grant is gonna surprise some people. Kid can ball. He's a 100% upgrade from Rico. And I like Rico. Rico was here for leadership. I don't think Rico was here at the end because of his skills. I think when they needed Rico to step his game up in 2016, I think that's why he's still here. He says he's compared to Honey Badger and Malcolm Jenkins. I love it. Arlon, do we go with running back, offensive line, or cornerback? That's a good one. I'm not sure. Offensive line, I'm not trying to sit here and sell you on these guys that were the Hogs from the Washington days. If you're older than 40, you'll remember that. If you're younger than 40, trust me, the Hogs, when they used to nickname the offensive line the Hogs at Washington, because Washington used to have a awesome offensive line. But I like Jake Matthews. I still like Jake. And then the young boys on the side, the one thing that people didn't realize, look where Atlanta ran the ball a lot last year. They ran it on that Lindstrom-McGarry side quite a bit. And when Lindstrom was out for a couple of games last year, it showed. It really showed. I like the growth of our offensive line. Are we there? No. But I kind of like that. So to your point, Arlen, I would still be looking for a running back. While you can probably get a physical running back later in the 4th or 5th round, I would kind of make sure I get somebody who's had some experience running the ball 100, 150 times or something like that. I don't think we're going into this season with our lead back being Mike Davis. I don't think so. I'm comfortable knowing that he can carry the load. He did a good job in Carolina, but I would like to see some young legs come in here and at least challenge for some time. I don't think we're going to get a little scat back kind of guy. I think we're looking for somebody that's going to run the ball pretty good with us. I'm going to go on this side and start reading. I know y'all going quick again on me, so I'm going to try to catch up. Kevin says there are no splashes at this point. Let the GM do their work. I can hear you. I hear you. Gary says Justin Fields going to get us when he sees us. That's it. That ship has sailed. So If Chicago come to town, we're going to beat they behind too. Marlon says we are solid at safety. Next, we need cornerback, edge, defensive tackle on defense. I'd like to give our big guy that we didn't see a lot of last year, Marlon Davidson. I would love to get him some run in there to see how he's going to work with Grady. We never really got to see that last year. And he came in with a little bit of, I remember last year when we got him in the second round, a lot of us wanted to give him some love, kind of remind me a little Tat, kind of yapping a little bit, and granted injuries and stuff like that. But I would have loved to see what he can bring to us. Isaiah said, I expect them to offer Grady an extension and we'll free up $10 million. We could always extend Lindstrom too. That would free up another $1 million. That Grady extension sounds like something that they might be counting on. And not only that, when I see little signs of things, when I see them going all in, Grady getting a podcast to talk to people and the Falcons kind of going behind that, Grady's going to be here for a while. And I know he just signed that contract before, but don't be surprised, as you say, if they kind of stretch him out. I think Grady's credibility here is going to be good for another 5+ years. So I don't have a problem with that move at all, Isaiah. June says Michael Carter in the 3rd round. If he's there, he's a beast too. Tim says, I think if they trade Julio after June 1st, we won't take so much of a hit in cap. I really don't agree. If he stays healthy, we need him. Well, listen, Julio Jones is the only bona fide Hall of Famer unquestionably on this roster right now. You're going to have a debate about Matt, and we'll get to that when the time comes. But yeah, of course you want to keep Julio. There's no doubt in my mind. Curtis, we just picked up another pick by trading back. Plus, we signed A.J. McCarron for a team with no money. This is making me think they already made the decision about Julio leaving. What do you think? Listen, when I first heard the news that they were thinking about doing that, I must admit, I try to separate it real quick. The fandom is easy to get caught up in. If you start thinking about what Julio is owed over the next couple of years and what the receiving core is looking like promisingly, you don't have to have an elite receiving core to win. You don't. And if you get the balance that we're looking for in the run game, add on to the fact that we just added what should be the best tight end tight end prospect in a decade or two, then you might be able to absorb that hit. Now, don't take my words about being able to take the hit. If we get a chance to have Julio on this team, let's keep him if we can, especially now that you're adding Kyle Pitts in here. I would love to see that lineup. But from a financial standpoint, I can understand why they are doing the things they're doing. I truly understand that. Yeah. Oh, I got you. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Doing some behind the scenes magic there. Yeah, but yeah, I'm not against a trade, but boy, it would be nice if we would, kind of be able to keep him. I will tell you that. Jimmy saying he loves the safety pick. Robert Pace said, I think Terry is looking for Alvin Kamara, which would be nice if you could get that type of player. Jimmy say he hope Trey Sermon is the guy at running back. So Alvin Kamara got some choices there. I have on the line my brother down there in central Georgia. This is Toddy. And
Steve, my bad, man.
I tried to see. I'm trying to see if I can get your audio on, Toddy.
Oh, no.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I hear you. I do not hear your audio. You're not on mute. Hold on one second. You're not on mute.
What about now?
Do me a favor and check your volume for me one time. Hold on one second. Let me see something. Hold on. You're not on mute. Can you hear me now? Do me a check. All right. Hold on. That might be me internally. Let me get. You're not on mute. Can you hear me now? Do me a check. I'm double micing myself, and this is not how I did it. Let me bring you down and bring you back up.
Okay.
1 second. Let me see something. Okay, I apologize, y'all. I'm trying to bring Toddy in there to talk about what's going on. So I'm gonna bring you up, Toddy, and then I'm gonna come down for a second so we could be one volume talking. But I want you to talk about, somebody was asking about the t-shirts that we had yesterday, and I want to just I'm gonna come down a little bit. I'm gonna let you talk about it, and I'm gonna bring it back up because somehow my volume is mixing up. So go ahead with that.
Okay. What's up, ABG? We have got a lot of feedback on the shirts that we had on yesterday, and shout out to Home Team Apparel for sponsoring us and pretty much styling us in those shirts. So once again, shout out to Byron Edwards, our administrator, and also his company, Home Team Apparel. They gave us those shirts and they were fantastic, man. We got a lot of feedback from those shirts. We got a lot of people asking us about the shirts. We good, Steve?
I'm good now.
Okay. We got a lot of people asking us, where they can get the shirts at, where they can buy the shirts at. And so what we did is we put our minds and put our heads together, and we decided to offer the shirts, to you all, to you all to purchase. And we tried our very best to price them where they're affordable for anybody to get them. So starting very, very soon, we'll start making those shirts available for $14.99. That's going to be the price of the shirts. And they're $19.99 if you need them shipped. Now, if you're within the Atlanta area, you're able to pick up the shirts. You're in Atlanta, they're $14.99. If we need to ship them to you, they'll be $19.99, and of course that will include the price of shipping. And there's some fantastic looking t-shirts, man.
Yes, they are.
I got a lot of compliments from my family when I put it on. Hey, boy, where you get that shirt from? But there's some great shirts, y'all. And just for those of you who may have missed it, how they look, Steve? Can they see that?
They can come back a little bit towards you. There you go. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. Somebody was asking. That's perfect.
All right, these are the shirts. It has our group name on there, Atlanta Bird Game. So these shirts will be for sale, and we'll continue to talk. Maybe we'll offer those in different colors. I know some people like to wear black. Some people like to wear the red. They like to match the hat, like to match the jersey. They like to match the shoes. So we may even offer those in different colors. It depends on the feedback we get from it. But we'll start marketing those in our group very, very soon. Again, they're going to be $14.99. If you're able to get them, if you're in the Atlanta area, you can pick them up. Or if you need them shipped out, they'll be $19.99. Also, we've been doing a little bit of talking behind the scenes. Of course, we know we've been going through some crazy times with the pandemic, with COVID, and it's just been a bunch of unusual, extraordinary stuff going on in the world beyond that. But thankfully, the world has started up. Starting May 15th, Mercedes-Benz Stadium will be at 100% capacity. Exactly. So, of course, that means the Falcons games will be 100% capacity. So things are starting to slowly get back to normal. We've been talking about, putting some things together as a group. Like I said, it's been a tough last maybe 18 to 24 months for everybody. So we're talking behind the scenes, you know, maybe we can get some group meet and greets going up, and maybe we can all do something for one of our preseason games this year, y'all. Maybe we can do a real big meetup. Somebody, I think it was Robert Pace mentioned on one of the shows that we should get together and, you know, for one of the games, do a cookout, just do a meet and greet. You know, we do a lot of congregating in the group, and it'll be great to see everybody in person. So I'm thinking of a preseason game, and I know y'all probably thinking, well, Tyler, nobody wants to see no preseason game. But the reason I say preseason guy, because again, we're fresh in the pandemic. Times are hard for pretty much everybody. A preseason game is affordable for pretty much anybody. A regular season game may not fit in everybody's budget right now, but we'll think about it and we'll talk about it. But that's what we're planning, y'all. We're gonna try to make things a lot more funner, if that's a word, a lot more funner, and just do a lot of more different things this year in our group. Because once again, we're all Falcons fans, even if we agree, even if we disagree, even if we hug or we fight, and we're all a family.
One of the things I loved about that is before I put that shirt on, my wife was looking at me and she said, Steve, Steve, you getting ready to change into your shirt? And I said, yeah. Then I put the shirt on and she said, Denzel, come over here, boy. And I was just like, it worked for me. So some of y'all out there, and I seen some of y'all pictures that y'all might not look as great. You can put this Atlanta Bird Gang shirt on, and you too can impress your significant other in that shirt. So I think that would be great. Listen, as far as the get together, I mean, you already know you can count me in. I think the great thing I've enjoyed about this whole thing, it culminated with yesterday again. It blew my mind. I had no idea we were going to be in the stratosphere where we were yesterday with everything. I love that. I've heard so many people, and I watched your post you put up, and so many people talk about so we can keep this thing going, y'all. You know, when football season comes, to his point, I've heard that idea. Somebody expressed something to me about a possible tailgate or something like that. Again, hoping and praying the pandemic things are trending in the same place. I'm totally down for that. I would be remiss, brother, if I see you, since we have you here. I've had an opportunity to take a deep breath. I saw your post today. You helped me kind of, you know, exhale and inhale and about things. Having faith in Arthur Smith as an X and O's guy is something that's comforting to me. What is it to you that gives you the idea that Arthur Smith is going to be able to turn this offense into hopefully 2016, not exactly like Kyle, but being to the point where they're chasing us on the scoreboard instead of we're chasing them? What gives you confidence in that move with Kyle Pitts?
I'm going to give you an answer that you're really not expecting.
Okay.
But the draft pick last night, that meant that he had a whole lot of confidence in Matt Ryan. It meant he had a whole lot of confidence in Kyle Pitts. And it also made me realize that somewhere along the way, they had to discuss this with Rich McKay and Arthur Blank. And they had a plan together like, listen, we don't need to be in rebuild mode. We just need to retool this. We got a whole lot of confidence in Matt Ryan. We got a whole lot of confidence in the guys on this offense. And we know we can make this thing work. And when I do listen to Arthur Smith talking, and I touched about this when I went live earlier today, he to me, he doesn't come across as a Dan Quinn type of personality, right, who's going to win you over with a lot of rah-rah stuff. He seems to me like he's just the ultimate football geek. You know, he's just about the business of the thing. You know, I'm here to do a job. I'm going to do a job. Everything I've heard from him since he's been hired, that's pretty much all he's been on. It's never been none of this, hey, I'm your brotherhood, with your sisterhood, right. You know, hey, let's roll. Like, this is what we're going to do, and this is my focal point. So all that combined together has given me confidence that they'll get the thing going.
I hope so. And, you know, just hoping that we can put our faith in him and he can lead us to higher ground and do what we got to do. Brother Toddy, on behalf of you, I'm gonna go out and get that T-shirt that I threw in the garbage can, that number 24. I'm gonna bring it out and I'm gonna put it back up. That Freeman T-shirt that I was getting ready to take off. I'm gonna bring it up, man, in your behalf and hang it back up, brother.
Hey, don't do free like that. You know him as Adrian. You know I represent him, man. Don't do free like that.
When you see me in person, I promise you, I have a Devontae jersey, so I'm talking, but I got one. I literally have one. My brother, man, you taking these. Thank you for coming in with the info, brother. Peace as always to you, brother. We'll catch you down the line, man.
Thank you, Steve.
All right, buddy. Thank you, man. It's always good to have my brother in the house, man. And y'all make sure y'all check him out down the way. I enjoy every single person that comes into the group and adds their 2 to 3 cents and let us go. But Tidy and Marcus especially, man, that's a must see stuff when you get a chance to see them, man. Always. So yeah, man, we're gonna be doing some things. I'm looking at some stuff down there. Lisa says she likes the design of the shirt. Ricky said I'm looking forward to that. Sister Toya, how you doing? Said, do you guys and gals go to any away games? I'm gonna tell you right now, and I don't think I'm blowing this whatever. I am trying my best to hope we can make it to Dallas. And I know that's a stretch. The NFC South games are the games that people talk about going to most when you start talking about the Carolina, of course, New Orleans. Everybody talks about going to New Orleans. But that Dallas game is intriguing to me. The only thing, Toya, I know that when the schedule comes out, which is May 12th, if I'm not mistaken, when it comes out May 12th, it'll be a little bit easier that if we wanted to try to get together and just kind of touch bases with each other and get, schedule something, that's when it would be a little easier to figure out. I also have my eye on the London game. Hopefully we'll see. But when the schedule comes out, it'll be easier to get that. Chargers, Asante Samuel Jr. Okay. I hear him out there. That sounds good. That's all right. We can do that. Hey, good for them. That would have been nice to pick up. That would have been a nice little pickup on the other side. I think the only thing is with cornerback, I would love, it would be nice to have 2 young studs back there in the back, but boy, oh boy, I would love to have a veteran back there as far as my other side of AJ out there. Michael says Samuel gone. We could have had him. Andre says 3 hours away from me. I could definitely go to that Dallas game. Jimmy Man says, do we still draft quarterback? I think you do, Jimmy. Listen, we got the veteran quarterback, and we're not rolling any heads by saying AJ McCarron, and Matt Ryan breathes a little bit easier. But no, as far as quarterback, you're going to need a quarterback. Frankie says, I agree. Hoping he elevates the offense. Our brother Anthony White on YouTube also say, what's good, fellas? How do you like the pick of Richie Grant? And again, we got some folks that knew a little bit more about Ricky out of Central Florida, and they say he's actually a really good pick. So hopefully that will end up working for us in the end. Ricky says Kellen Mond is looking good right now. Remember I said I was thinking he was going to drop down into the 3rd round, and you might be able to do that. And remember, we also have 2 4th-rounders. So we moved up a little bit. Don't be surprised if those 4th-rounders back-to-back end up being somebody in the defense too. And it'll be interesting. It seems like a lot of the running back news has kind of dried up. There hadn't been any running backs, a run on running backs here. I'm looking at ESPN's list of best running backs left. Right now, number 1 is Trey Sermon, and I'm looking at San Francisco, and it'd be my luck they'll say Trey Sermon on the next move. No, they went with a guard, Aaron Banks. So from a running back standpoint, you have Trey Sermon still left. You have Michael Carter, and he became the lost person when people start talking about Javonte Williams. But Michael Carter wasn't bad either for North Carolina. Ramondre Stevenson from Oklahoma, Demetric Felton from UCLA, and my brother Gainwell from Memphis. He's a pretty good runner too. I'm not sure if he might fit in what they're looking for here in Atlanta. Ricky says, don't be surprised if we get him. Rusty Trey Sermon needs to be the next pick. Trask is still there. That's what Michael says. And don't sleep on Trask either. Does anybody take a flyer on Jamie Newman? That would be interesting to see. Jamie Newman, who is still out there, and of course didn't get any run last year. He opted out, and I made a mistake when we were talking the other day. I don't want to see. I don't want to be too critical of folks who took a flyer last year, and I started to, and I kind of took a step back because last year we really didn't know what we were dealing with at this time. I don't think because we didn't know, it's hard to sit there and say, I don't know that young man's situation. He might have had family that caught it and stuff like that, and people were just being safe. But it would have been nice to see Jamie Newman out there last year. And I ended up turning out good with JT Stewart being able to come in and do his thing. I'm sorry, JT Daniels at Georgia coming in and do his thing, but it would have been nice to see. Michael says he heard that Newman's stock went down. Ricky says, I think Trask has a better upside than Newman. Christian says, what do you think about our second round pick? We needed a safety, Christian. I think from that standpoint, I mean, it definitely feels the position. So honestly, I didn't get a lot of Central Florida tape, so I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend like I had a full scouting of him, but we do need a safety. The safety is one. We got rid of all 3 safeties this year. And I say get rid of course, Neal, we didn't re-sign. Casey. Casey, I think his was a I'm trying to think, was Casey a free agent? I think he was a free agent too. And obviously we cut Ricardo. So that's where we are. Jeffrey says, I think maybe take a flyer on Jamie Newman in the 4th or 5th round. If we don't take a quarterback before then, that would be interesting. Christian says, I was thinking we was taking running back. I thought we would have too. And you see the pick that we ended up trading with Denver, Christian, they ended up getting Javonte Williams. So it's easy. When you see them do something like that, maybe they have a running back down the line that they have their eyes on. So again, it's up to these guys to reshape the roster. They have an idea of exactly what players they want and who they want. So I'm gonna sit here and let them do what they do. Frankie says, I have no idea who that UCF guy is, and I didn't either, Frankie. They had some high marks on here when you start, they go to the player comparison, and which is always kind of a tricky thing to me because you don't want to overhype anybody. I mean, they compared him to Tyrann Mathieu and Malcolm Jenkins, 2 guys who are both of them at one point top 5 safeties during their career. That's a very high level to me. So if you get any semblance of that, then that's a good pick. But I honestly can't give you more than that right there. Ricky says, but they were the most underexposed, undefeated team in college football. That's right. They got the little imaginary national championship they had from a couple of years ago. Sounds like we are focusing on the vets in the running back position, and that could be the case too. Still haven't gotten rid of Ollison too. Wondering if there is a plan for Quadre. He definitely didn't get his shot. Well, he got a shot for about a couple of weeks in 2019, but I don't know who he stepped on in 2020. But they didn't give him a shot at all. And they gave him a cup of coffee in 19. Didn't he score a couple of touchdowns? But it was clear he wasn't in the plans for this year. Frankie says you got to trust the process at this point. True. Sounds like it. Winston says he was a Jim Thorpe finalist last year. So, hey. Christian, people have told me that this safety we picked up has Ed Reed potential. Well, listen, that's a lot of names. And I hope with all those names, it comes back to do they match up with what they thought? I always say, well, you see that more in basketball, where you see the guys come in basketball and they say, this person plays like this basketball player. Football is such a different deal when you start thinking about that. Tidy says the Ollison Hive has always come for me when I say to cut him. Listen, I don't know what he did. It seems like in 19, Tidy, that he was getting ready to get a chance. And I don't know. I know Devontae was in and out in 19, and we weren't getting the steady, but they gave Brian Hill his opportunity in 19 at the end. And Quadre, if you remember, got a couple of goal line chances. And it seemed like to me, after that, I was saying, okay, maybe they're kind of warming him up, greasing him up a little bit, and he's going to get this full-blown chance in 2020. And then once you bring in Gurley, I guess he got lost in the shuffle. But, boy, they didn't give him a shot at all. Did he get a carry? I know he was inactive a couple of times. So something about that situation that seemed like he might have been in the doghouse or something. So I don't know. It is really interesting. A.J. McCarron. It's a body. It's nothing to get excited about. I'm listening to I was watching some folks on the Post that were really going in on him, and I'm saying to myself, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to have a veteran in here. I think it's cool. We don't need to, get too. It should be an even keel about him. I think it's great that he's here. I think it's great that he's made a few starts in his career. You want somebody who's been out there and see what it is like to play on an NFL team and have a couple of starts. For that matter, that was no different than Schaub in his twilight, no different than Matt Sims in his twilight, or the one year we had, somebody said the name earlier when we were talking, but the other guy we had too, so no big deal. My brother Edwin, how you doing, sir? Say he played multiple positions, cornerback, slot, free safety. He is a solid upgrade from Ricardo Allen. So there you go with a little bit more analysis on Brother Grant from Central Florida. David, how you doing, David? Said we are getting rid of Julio. We need to think about drafting a number 2 for Calvin in the next round. It will be interesting to see how they treat the wide receiver core here. Right now, we're looking at pre-trade. If a trade happens, it would be if it doesn't happen, you have Julio, you have Calvin, you have Gage, Zacchaeus, and Blake re-signed, surprisingly. So right there, you have a pretty solid group. I would imagine if there were going to be any moves that the Falcons would look at, I think they were probably looking at bringing somebody in here before they draft another person. I'm not sure if I don't know. Maybe you could find a rookie late in the draft. I know we found who was the guy? Last guy I remember being that late. I remember Fuller, the nice year, 2016, but that's about it. Said McCarron is better than Schaub. Okay, I can live with that, Frankie. Absolutely. I can live with that. Brother Gregory says, if we get a chance to pick a running back, I hope Trey Sermon is available. My brother from Georgia, the guy that a couple of y'all were looking at, Ojulari, just went to the Giants. So a lot of folks thought he was going to come at the top. We pick next. We'll have the fourth pick of the third round. So we have one more pick coming. We still got a little ways to go for that one. We got a few picks before that shoots in, folks. So we still got about a decent another 10 to 15 picks before we get on that. Terrence Allen says Terrence Marshall from LSU is a sleeper that could replace Julio. And I know Terrence Marshall is still on the clock. So Christian says, I'm just as shocked that we didn't get to look at Samuel Jr. Positive Love says Chuck Smith is smiling about the Giants pick. I know I heard Chuck talking real good about him. That would have been an interesting pick coming in here to Atlanta. But hey, it is what it is. Brother Roger says, what's up, Uncle Steve? I'm loving what the GM and Coach Smith are doing in the draft. Very excited about the 2 picks we have so far. It's nothing that you can really get mad at this point. Both of them are especially when you start thinking about what Pitts can add to this offense. And we definitely need some safety help. We're very lacking in safety. The only person significant we signed is the guy from Oakland who wasn't a primary starter out there in Oakland. So I'm very excited to see what we could do with this safety position. That would be a plus. The one thing I will say about the pick of Kyle Pitts is it's gonna be easy for us to judge what significance he has on this offense. I think the fact that he's a tight end, he said today he's ready to block. He said he wants to be integral in the run game from the interview he did today on locally on 92.9. And if he's willing to put his hand in the dirt and give us that extra load on the other side blocking, I think we should have some good things coming out of him. And I think you're going to find it hard to criticize. Now, if it blows all up in our face and Matt Ryan doesn't give us the year that we need to succeed, I'm trying to tell you, folks, it's going to be tough sledding for him. It is. It's going to be very much tough sledding. How many picks do we have left? We have a total of 7 picks left. We had 9 picks altogether. We have a total of 7 picks left, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody correct me. I think if I'm not right. Positive Love says we have Harmon. I forgot about Harmon. You're absolutely correct. Harmon is here. We do. Yes, we do have a 3rd round pick, Ricky. We do have a 3rd round pick. We do. I think the only pick we did not have was a 5th round originally. We didn't have a 5th round pick. So going to the 3rd round, we picked number 68. So right now they're on pick number 52. So we still got quite a bit of ways to come down there. I said, what did you think about? And I did hear that. What do you think about Cam Jordan saying Pitts is a little light? I agree with him. Or was Jordan being Jordan talking trash? Jordan talks stuff. As I look at this dude imitating the Macho Man here, I love the Macho Man in wrestling. Cam Jordan is such a front runner. And when things are going great, you would think that New Orleans has been to the Super Bowl back-to-back years. Now, they won the NFC South. He can talk mess over Atlanta, Carolina. He can't talk mess over Tampa, but he can talk mess over Atlanta and Carolina all day. He's a colorful guy. He's kind of funny. I'm not going to lie to you. He's entertaining, but sometimes he talks out the side of his neck, so I love to see him lose. I love to see after playoff interviews with him when he loses. However, to the point that you were making, it was an interesting comment when he was saying he was lighting the behind a little bit, and he was looking forward to detaching him from the line, if I remember the quote correctly. A lot of bravado, man. Cam is a big talker. So, you know, I don't mind a good talker, but I've seen Tat McKinley talk. I've seen Marlon Davidson talk. I want the talking to stop, and I want the action to be on the field, man. I'm not big on all that. Ricky says Jordan is full of it. Kristen says Cam talking a lot of mess for not having a quarterback. Just like, look, it was easy for him to talk all that stuff with Drew Brees there. Let's see how confident the talkie is now with my brother Crab Legs probably being the one who's going to take his position over there. Gregory said that's the wild card. Matt Ryan, you never know what you're going to get out of him. And I think that's the fair point when people make the criticism. The Kyle Pitts pick could be absolutely fantastic if our quarterback gives us consistent play. And consistent play doesn't mean 4,000 yards, y'all. Consistent play doesn't mean that. Consistent play means a quarterback that's going to take us to the next level. That's what I'm talking about. So, you know. Alan says the conclusion of the first two rounds, let me know that our GM knows what he's doing. According to Pro Football Focus, we got one generational talent and a top 5 safety over the last 2 years. And listen, I hope the prognosticators are right. I hope all the draft folks are right, because I would love if we were able to, you know, sneak in and get a couple of guys that we can look at on this team and 5 years down the line and say they're the best. They're one of the top 5 in their position. And that's all you can hope for when you end up getting these guys. Looking at Cleveland Browns, they got a linebacker. Oh, they got the guy from Notre Dame. That's pretty good. Brother Davis says, Brother Crabland. Hey, man, it is what it is. That story going to stay with me forever with that Publix and those crab legs. Positive Love say, this is Pierre. Hey, Pierre, what's going on, man? Said, that's who you are. Okay, Pierre, I did not know that. When it comes to the quarterback in the draft, I'll take Jamie Newman to complete the statue we signed today. Maybe in the 2022 takeover for Matt. We'll see. We'll see. That'll be interesting. Arlen says, record-wise next year, what would be considered a successful season? I'm gonna not concentrate as much on record as well as I will making the playoffs. Because I think when you make a move like this with Kyle Pitts, when you restructure Matt's contract, and I understand before anybody starts shooting at me, I understand we had to do what we had to do with the contract. in order to get under. You had some options to do some other things, but I understand that was the easiest way to go through Matt's contract. I get it. But you're on the clock for playoffs. The move of Kyle Pitts yesterday to sign with him, you can't come in here 6-11 next year. You can't come in here 7-10. When you made that move for Kyle Pitts, you're saying all we need to do is a little dash of this and a little dash of that in order for us to win. That's my only flaw in saying I'm going to get a tight end. Not Kyle Pitts personally, but saying I'm going to get a tight end. I realize that the high ranks he gets. I realize that everybody thinks he's going to be the next Kelsey or Kittle in that position. But when you got him at number 4, you're telling the Atlanta fan base, we think we're going to be in the mix for a playoff position this year. Does that mean they think we're going to win the division? I don't know. But they feel so strong about Kyle Pitts and what he can do for this team. And even with the inconsistencies we see with Matt Ryan, they feel like we're going to make the playoffs. You know what? Let's have at it. Got to prove yourself in September. Start September. I'm not holding back. I think that's what you got to think about. Christian says Pitts is going to pop Cam in the mouth. I hope he does. I hope he does. Brother Perry says 11-6 is a successful season for me, especially with this offense we're going to have on the field. I do think 11-6 would be good. Michael says, Steve, don't we need some defensive ends? We never get pressure on the quarterbacks. I think you either need defensive ends or you need some fast linebackers. I'm hearing Pease is going to go with a little bit of hybrid as far as 4-3 to 3-4. We really don't have that nasty D tackle in the middle yet. I think Grady is a little light for that. But if you do happen to go to the 3-4, you got to have somebody in that middle that's going to push in and have those linebackers putting their hands in the dirt so we can get some pressure. We got to have some pressure. We do. Got to. Trying to wait for this second pick to get around before we start doing some other things. I'm loving to see what they're going to do with the third round. What are y'all thinking right now? Third round, do we go stretch up for quarterback? Do we stretch out there to try to get a running back? Got a couple of running backs on the board. What are y'all thinking we do? I'm looking at probably trying to get that running back, y'all. Jeffrey says they letting the fan base know that this is not a rebuild. We all in for the playoffs. And again, Jeffrey, I think that too. But we were told that in 18. We were told that in 19. And we were definitely told that last year when you got Todd Gurley. And nobody knows what's going to happen in September from a signing in April. But I'm just so in show me mode. I'm not on paper things. I've learned over the last few years that on paper with this team means nothing. You've got to show me. I've been so disappointed. I've been disappointed too many times to fall for the on paper. Last year's big mantra was all the first rounders on the offense. And that turned into 4-12. So I gotta get more than that, y'all. Got to. Andre says, can't look at it like that, Steve. Think about it either Pitts or Fields as best on the board. So if you don't think Fields is the guy, you have to go with Pitts. I don't think it was a few moves away from the playoffs. Yeah, and I can see that rationale. There's no doubt you can go that direction. I guess my patience is waning. I just need to see a winning team. 2017 seems like it was 10 years ago, y'all. How long ago does it seem like that Julio and Matt couldn't connect on that fourth down when we had first and goal inside the 10? That seems like it was 10 years ago. One losing season in football is the equivalent to 3 actual years. So when you're winning and you're in the playoffs, it's easy to go back and say, yeah, when we had that playoff. Well, we talk about our counterparts down there in the Bayou. As much junk as we talk about Cam Jordan and all that stuff, at least they can talk about playoff experiences. For us, we sitting here like, yeah, remember Junior? We were back in 2017. I remember Muhammad Sanu. Remember him? I don't want to do that. I want to have memories of every year. More importantly, I'd like the opportunity to have a championship. But in the interim of having a championship, at least give us an opportunity to get to the playoffs. Frankie said he wanted to see the Sermon of Trask. I could see that. Dre also says quarterback or running back. Ricky says running back, then quarterback. He says Norman says we should go quarterback. I'm sorry, we should go running back. I'm sorry. Marlon says I think we wait until the 4th round to draft a running back like Kylan Hill from Mississippi State. That's actually a good name, man. In the 4th round. Christian says I will say this. I will believe when I see it. We've been all talk and no hype on Sundays. Christian, that's my mood. And I hear on paper, I hear what he can do. I hear stretch the field. I hear can go out in the slot, can go out at wide receiver. I hear that. But I also heard Gurley what he was going to do. I heard Hayden and how he was going to stretch. The same stuff we're saying about Kyle, we were saying some of that stuff about Hayden. And I know it wasn't Hayden. Hayden wasn't getting the ball a lot. When Hayden got the ball, Hayden showed flashes of being a really good tight end last year. I have no hate for Hayden Hurst. He showed flashes that when he got the ball in his hands, he could do some things. So I look forward to the 2 tight end set. Look, I have visions of Hernandez and Gronk on the field. I have thoughts of that. But again, I've been treated so bad. I've been abused by this franchise and what they've done to me in the last few years. Now, I do have optimism that we're letting some other folks try. So that gives me a little bit of hope. But at the same time, as Christian said, I want to believe. But we go through this. We've gone through this the last 4 off seasons, y'all. So I'm like that dude that's going to play poker. And I couldn't say poker. That dude that's going to put a bet on his team, but you keep looking at those odds and you keep saying, man, before I invest my money, let me think about it. So that's me. Before I invest my heart and soul into saying, you know what? I'm bought in. We're going to be 12-5, win the division. That's it. I'm trying to protect my heart, y'all. I really am. I am. Perry says, I think P's going to blitz everywhere on the field, so defensive end not a focus for us right now. Third round, Trey Sermon. If defense in third round, don't sleep on the D tackle from LSU. Jeffrey says, you're right on, Steve. At this point, we all from Missouri. That's right. Show me. Show me. You dead on it. You dead on it, Jeffrey. Kevin says, everybody in the country like their team on paper this time of the year, coaches and fans. It is, Kevin, hope is eternal for every team, all 32 teams during this time. Look at these fans that you see on TV when they're showing these teams. These folks are seriously thinking that these second and third round picks are what's holding them back from the Super Bowl. And I don't blame them. We're fans. We all have high hopes. We all hope that we're one player away. We hope that Kyle Pitts. I'm not rooting against Kyle Pitts. Shoot, I want Kyle Pitts to give me 12 touchdowns. I want Kyle Pitts to stretch out on the left side and do some things. I want that. But I'm just so jaded, man. I really am. Andre calling me out. He said, you spoiled, Steve. You spoiled brat. I'm not as old as you, but I remember when we were straight trash. So you can't lose your patience now. No, listen, you're absolutely right, Andre, because there were days, look, I don't even want to talk about being a kid in the 70s when if you all knew that first, because I was 9, I think, the first playoff season we had, 1978, against the Philadelphia Eagles wild card game, and we won because the guy missed the field goal. We won our first playoff game we were ever in 1978, and after that we went to the playoffs in 80. Now we were at that time like a sporadic playoff team. Playoffs 1 year, go about down 3 more years, then the rest of the league. Y'all remember Dave Archer? Y'all know the guy who does the play-by-play? Yeah, he was quarterback on a couple of those really hopeless teams. And yeah, it was destitute. It was horrible during those times. So yes, look, when Matt Ryan came in here, you saw one of his biggest defenders in me when Matt Ryan first came in, because we weren't used to back-to-back winning seasons. 2008 to 2012 was a dream for a longtime Falcon fan. And even one of those years we didn't make the playoffs, but we were still 9-7 and at least in the mix. So yes, I probably am spoiled. You're right about that. But at the same time, I want to be spoiled again. Give me something to look forward to. Arlen says we should get Ronnie Perkins. My brother Marlon says, yeah, bro, your patience is gone. I've been a Falcon fan since 2002. My patience is there, but I'm still happy with Matt Ryan. I remember how inaccurate Vic was at times and how many misses happened through the draft. But there's the thing, though, Marlon. Look, all kidding aside, the spoiled part is probably more true than my patience. The patience part of it has been, I can't hear you give these superlatives of elite, still one of the top 10 quarterbacks, still consistent. When I hear people say consistent, that burns me up, because I would rather have the consistent version of Matt of 2008 to 2012 than the consistent part that we've received for the last 3 years. My patience is, yes, to Andre's point, Marlon, I was spoiled because Matt came out the box and didn't lose games. Matt, during those first 4 years, that's when they kept throwing up the stat. With 2 minutes left, Matt has more comeback victories than that, and Matt's had the clutch gene. When is the last time Matt has done that? I'm not saying he can't do it now. I'm not throwing Matt out the pasture. Shoot, if I was throwing Matt out the pasture, I wouldn't be sitting in a number 2 jersey. All kidding aside, I wouldn't. I'm not saying he's totally, absolutely done, but I am saying, like my brother said earlier, you gotta show me. 7-9, 7-9, and 4-12. You're showing me something different. I want to be turned over. I want everybody to prove me wrong. I want y'all to prove me that we didn't need to get a quarterback in the first round. I want everybody to say, aha, I told you so. Matt just took us to a division championship and further. I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong about that so bad because I'm a huge Falcon fan. I want to be proven wrong. Please prove me wrong. So that's not a knock absolutely personally against Matt. It's just saying, prove me wrong, y'all. I really want to be proven wrong. Frankie says we suffer from Quinn TSD. Michael says Ryan's not young. It's a matter of time. He gets seriously hurt. Then what the Ryan Knights gonna say? The O-line sucks. And look, I don't want it to be totally about Matt sucks, Matt's not this, Matt's that. Look, if Matt gives me reason not to, more in the last 3 to 4 years, Matt has given me reason not to trust him as a quarterback of our team right now. Have I started every season, 18, 19, 20, thinking, well, he'll turn it around? It's actually getting worse, y'all. That 2018 season, when the defense went down, I'll almost give him a pass on that. Because Matt did ball out a little bit that year. That's the year he had the 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. I mean, legitimately, you can say it wasn't more of him than anything else. But 2019 and then last year, no quarterback is perfect, but it were more times than not that I saw some things in him that lead me to believe that maybe we need to look for the future upgrade. And I know we have opportunity to find a future upgrade. If not in the next, 10 picks, we might find a future upgrade. But as a Falcon fan, y'all, I'm just tired of losing. And when I'm tired of losing, the very first position I go to is not the offensive guard. It's not the punter. It's not the third string linebacker. It's not the kick returner. It's not even the wide receiver. It's the quarterback of the team. The quarterback gets that knock whether he wants it or not. It's shown in salary. And that's just it. It's not anything negative about Matt the person. But I just do need Matt to show me more going into this year. I really do. And I apologize, I went down a little bit. Andre said, I know what you mean, bro. I go back and look at the 2016 year and still jump up and down and scream and yell and go crazy. And I want to go back to that again. Andre, I'm going to tell y'all, just keeping it 100. And anybody that says I'm crazy, you just call me crazy. I'm going to show you how big of a fan I am. I have NFL Game Pass, and I think I've told this story before. That's one of the best app. That's not an app, but where you can watch the games from a while ago, and they go all the way back, I think, to 2009. Now, I think they go back to 2009. So that was right around Matt's rookie year. He was 2008. And I go back and I watch games from the 2009 to 2012. I go back and watch those games and just think about that. When you start watching them, and obviously you know what's going to happen, but when you see those big plays, when you see Matt Ryan hitting Michael Jenkins on the sideline with that pass with 4 or 5 seconds left to beat Chicago. When you see Matt Ryan from the end zone throw that ball 60 yards for Roddy White to catch it over the little safety from Carolina and then set up to kick the field goal a play later. When you go back and watch the Seattle game where we had no business winning after they came back from 20 down to take the lead with less than 20 seconds left, and we steal that game from in the playoffs. When you go look at Julio in that San Francisco game, scored 2 touchdowns like that in the first half and dominate the San Francisco defense. When you go to 2016 and watch any game past the Pick 2 game against Kansas City, as we just dominated teams all the way up to the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl. The feeling I get, I go back and watch those games a lot, including this week, just to get that feeling. 2017 was kind of uneven because even though we were 10-6 that year, it was hard to get that feeling because we were still kind of heartbroken over 2016. And I know people are going to go to well, you got to get over it, Steve. That was then, this is now. Well, if you give me reason to try to think about celebrating in the future, then that's fine. But I have been teased, tortured, tormented by the promises of 2018, 19, and 20. That's why I was talking about a quarterback change. That's why I was suggesting a new quarterback for the future. Not because personally, Matt Ryan, I hate you. No, it's because I want to get back to that feeling again. Any fan wants to get back to that feeling again. And when you're a fan of a championship team, Tampa Bay has bragging rights until kickoff Super Bowl 2022. We can't say anything to Tampa Bay fans. Zero. We were 2 years away and laughing at Crab Legs for throwing a pick 6 at the end of the 2019 season. And now we can't even talk junk at all to any Tampa Bay fans because they're walking around, passing around, throwing the Lombardi from ship to ship down there in St. Pete. I want to get that feeling back up again. That's the fan I am. That's the exact kind of fan I am. I'm that guy. I'm that guy holding on to the dreams. I'm that guy going back to look at Game Pass, hoping and praying some way somebody can come edit the tape and change that to a victory for us in the Super Bowl. So from that standpoint, now y'all see where you kind of going into my brain and seeing why when I don't see a change at the top, I start to get pessimistic. I start to worry about whether this franchise is delusional by saying, let's give him this great piece, Kyle Pitts, this great prospect, and seeing what he can do. The only part of the denominator that has changed my thought this year, that is not Dan Quinn ran team, and it's not a Thomas Dimitroff run team. These are two guys. This is their first shot. I'm sure they see the history of the Falcons. I'm sure they know the fan base is going to be skeptical of whatever they do. So from that standpoint, that's why I'm willing to give them more of a chance. I mean, that's it. But it is. I'm sorry. All right, let me go back. I missed a couple of people. Matt Ryan had one game winning drive since 2017, San Francisco 2018. That's right. I forgot about that. That was an awesome game too. Remember the feeling of Julio leaning and you saying to yourself, "Come on, rep. That's right down the line." I want that feeling, but on a more consistent basis. Michael says, I've been a fan for 50 years, Steve Philbin. I know you have, Michael. I know you have. You've been through the rigors of it. You remember us getting tore up at Green Bay when we were the number 1 seed back in 2012. You remember the euphoria of Minnesota winning the game against Minnesota, but then going and getting shellacked against Denver. You remember back in 1995, when Bobby Hebert led us to the playoffs, only to be replaced and get tore up by Brett Favre in the wild card round. You remember the Too Legit to Quit team beating New Orleans in our only playoff appearance against our rivals, only to get beat down by the eventual Super Bowl champions in Washington. I mean, this franchise has so many moments of what if and what could have been. So when I don't see someone else recognizing that and saying, well, let's throw most of the same pieces out and see if we can do it again, that's where the frustration comes in. That's where it comes in. It's not personal. I'm not even close to hating Matt Ryan. Not even close. I like the guy. I actually think he's a good guy that whoever comes in here young as a quarterback is going to have a really good teacher. But that still doesn't mean I don't deserve as a fan. And it doesn't make me any different if I'm a season ticket holder. I know people throw that out like whatever. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, when you make an investment in going to see a team, there is a little bit where you say, yeah, I do invest my money, but that doesn't make a difference. It could be a person that's never gone to the stadium, that's been a lifelong Falcon fan, and you just invest your energy, your personality into a team. People don't understand that about fandom. That's real. Whether it be a favorite football, baseball, basketball team, that's real feelings, man. And when you stomp on my emotions like that, as they have for the last 3 years, dude, it hurts. Those Chicago Cub fans that couldn't celebrate a championship for 100 years, many of generations that didn't even see them win, I feel bad for them. And it's starting to be that way with the Falcons, 50 plus years, not a sniff. The Hawks, 40-something, 50 years, not a sniff. The Braves got a little taste of it, but I'm sure the Braves are even worse because they've had more chances to get there. But I just don't want to get teased, man. Getting teased too much. Not teased by people, teased by these organizations. Not I could care less about the trolling folks, because you know what? I'm ready to troll them when we win. But at some point, I need it to turn around for us. Christian Steve, my wife and father-in-law are Steelers fans. I catch it 24/7 about us losing. And again, Pittsburgh fans, they get to celebrate every 5 years, it seems. Or at least they're making the playoffs, are in the conversation. In January, we're always talking about what position are we in? Are we top 10? And in Pittsburgh, even as desolate as Ben Roethlisberger looks sometimes, at least he's in the conversation. And sometimes Ben look like his arm is about to fall off, but he still wheels that team, limping, straining on the field to get his team there. There's something to be said for that. Arlen says, right, they always talk about how the defense below 28-3 lead, how the defense, I'm sure you meant below the 28-3 lead, but Matt couldn't score any more points. He's a good quarterback, not elite, because elite quarterbacks know how to take a sack. Arlen, right, I'm sorry. Tanya says, that's what a true fan sounds like, Steve. Some people actually want to be right, and they're hoping he sucks this year. I don't understand their way of thinking. Yeah, I've never understood that mentality. That you root. There was nothing, and keeping it 100, Toya, the off season, when there are no games going on, you want some changes. You want some things to move around. But I'm going to tell you what, when kickoff comes, nobody better talk about Matt Ryan but me, except fans here. Because that's going to be my quarterback. That's my team. You can't troll them. You can't troll them. You can't troll them. You can't troll them. I'm talking about other teams. In our little sanctuary in this group and in other groups, we can talk amongst ourselves and dog them out. But don't you dare, New Orleans fan, come down here talking mess. Don't you dare, Carolina fan, have a nerve to come down here and mess with number 2. In Tampa Bay, I don't care how much Captain America sold out to come down here and get y'all your Super Bowl. Don't you dare come over here and talk about my quarterback. We can talk about it because we family. Rest of y'all go about your business. Lisa says, Game Pass is one of my favorite STH benefits. I only watch our wins, though. So I didn't use it that much last season. That San Francisco game we won in 2019 makes me happy, so I rewatch that one all the time. LOL. I've told everybody this story, Lisa, and I'm telling you again. And I talked about the Game Pass thing. I have not watched the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl since it's happened. I have not. Matter of fact, I'll go one step further. I made a mistake and watched some of the third quarter, but I usually stop the Super Bowl, the 2016. I usually stop it after Alford's pick six. I didn't even go watch the field goal. Every time I get to that point of the Alford pick six and him turning around and backing into the end zone, I stop. I can't put myself through it. And I'm not saying you're a real fan if you do Terrence Marshall just went off the field. Somebody was talking about him as a possible thought at wide receiver. So he's off the going to Carolina to help Sam Darnold. I can't watch that. I can't watch it because you know how it's going to end. But if you look at that film, if y'all have Game Pass or you go back and look at that pick six. Look at how those folks in the press booth with Arthur Blank and his family, and they were going crazy. And we were going crazy in our living room for our little party we had over here. Just that feeling. And then I also remember the deafening silence watching it live as we watched James White just ruin our night. It's crazy. Andre, I do as well, bro. Since chills through me watching them old games. Michael, Steve, I'm just saying, if he gets hurt, where do we turn? I'm not blaming Matt, but there is no plan if he goes down. And I hope these guys have a real plan, and it can't be A.J. McCarron. Marlon, we all want to win. I choose to drink the Kool-Aid. We have a new regime. I will believe them. I will believe in them until they give me a reason not to. But that's what I said, Marlon. That's the only denominator that's going to make me sell out again or make me fall prey again, because these are two new guys. So, yeah. Arthur says he can fix it. Here are the twos, buddy. Let's see what you can do. Eric, who doesn't remember this stuff? Hello, Pain. Yeah. Alex, don't forget them Cowboy losses. Stop it. Alex, stop it. The only game I have ever cried, January 1981, as Danny White broke our hearts and threw the touchdown to Drew Pearson right above Roland Lawrence to win the game. The team I still stand by to this day, the 1980 team, as the best overall team in franchise history. That team was destined to win that Super Bowl that year. We had a Philadelphia team that we crushed in the regular season that was not going to beat us that year, and the Oakland team that honestly wasn't as great as advertised. I think that was the year that we were going to win the championship. I really think that was a good team. And then we lost the game before, which Alex is talking about. That was the year we beat Philadelphia. The year in 1980, we were the number one seed, so we had a bye. And we lost that game. I think it was 30-27. And then the game in 1979, it was the 1978 season, but the game was actually in 1979. We beat Philadelphia, and then we were up on Dallas. Roger Staubach was quarterbacking. Robert Pennywell gave Roger Staubach a hit that knocked him out of the game. Entered the punter / reserve quarterback at that time, Danny White, and Danny White goes on to break our hearts. Yes, Alex. Oh my God, that was something else. Lisa, it's definitely an emotional investment being a fan of a sports team. Can't tell you how many arguments I've gotten into with strangers behind the Falcons. Y'all tell me your moments too. While we doing this, we got about 5 more picks to come over. Tell me your signature moment as a Falcon, as far as emotion is concerned. That was there are two. That Dallas game, I literally had physical tears. That's the only time, and I don't even cry, period, a lot in life, but that was the only time for a sporting event, as sad and horrible moments we've had. That was the only time I've ever cried at an event. Granted, I was young, but at the same time, that was the only time I had. So that particular time, I did. And then, of course, the euphoric beatdown of Green Bay closing up that dome. I know I have waxed poetic about this game several times, folks, but I'm just here to tell you, I don't think there's ever been a game from start to finish. The guy, I don't know what his name is, who was playing the saxophone and just put you in that mood. We had just kicked Seattle out of here. We didn't even know we were going to have a home game. We didn't even know we were going to have a home game that next week, because they thought Dallas was going to beat Green Bay and we were going to go to Dallas. Dallas was number 1 seed. And when Green Bay won that game, and I remember, first I remember because I remember that money coming out of my checking account that quick. But I remember my son and I just getting excited about we were going to see the NFC Championship at home, especially after going through the emotions of getting our butts coming back from San Francisco, 4 years prior. So to have a second chance and from the beginning to be dominant. And when I say, folks, I'm going to say this again, the shaking of the stadium, like you were at a high school, one of those half bleacher thing when you're on the bleachers and the kids are stomping on the bleachers. The dome was rocking. And that's emotion. I'm thinking about this. Just saying that was it. So give me some of these emotions, man. I'm wasting time because they still got about 5-6 picks before they get to the thing. But I love talking about those raw emotions. Brother Titus says, my mom and dad are Steel fans also. We talk to each other every year in excitement and disappointment. My mom says Acuna Jr. reminds her of Deion in Atlanta in regards to his electricity. Those are our teams. I'm going to tell you, when Deion was with the Braves, man, he brought a spark and an attitude that they weren't quite ready for back then, especially under Bobby Cox. It was a little bit of stuff there back then, but there was no denying the excitement that Deion brought to that team. It was very reminiscent of that 91 team. To me, the 91 team was better than the 95 team that won the championship because those guys in 91 were on fire with Gant and Pendleton and what's my man's name in the outfield, Lonnie Smith, and those guys. I mean, that team was straight fire. But yeah, I do. My mom is a huge Falcon fan, and we can talk about Falcons. She's not a meek fan. She's a break it down, tell you like it is, tell you the plays kind of person. And my dad, rest his soul, was that too. My dad was one of those that didn't do a lot of talking during the game. Sometimes he would get ticked off and go on a rant or two, but he was a quiet boy. They're crazy memories, man. Arlen says, we're about 7 picks. Yes, sir. 7 picks away. I say that's why we're trying to do this. Lisa said, I will leave this earth having never watched Super Bowl 51. I can't do it. Christian says, I used the PTO after the Super Bowl. Michael, I will never watch the Super Bowl game again. I get y'all. We are very close, folks. We coming up. We are 5 picks away. So we're almost there. Tidy says, outside the Super Bowl, that 2012 NFC Championship loss was my toughest loss to deal with. We lost the home combined with us losing the chance to win the Super Bowl in the Aints crib. I remember that. Just the thought. And that was another case when you start talking about that feeling when Julio caught that second bomb and Matt hit him in stride. I mean, Matt threw a nice pass to him in the perfect place where it was only where he could catch it. That was just awesome. And then, of course, the turf monster grabbing our buddy Harry Douglas. The collective sigh when we were in there, because you saw Harry catch that ball and you knew he was getting ready to score or either get down inside the 10. And the collective sigh when you saw him fall was, it's just like, oh, it still rings in my head. And also the interception right in front of Roddy. That too. Sean, what did we get trading back with Denver? We got their 4th round pick. So we're going to have 2 4th round picks tomorrow when things kick off, Sean. Andre, I cried when we lost the first Super Bowl. I was a kid. It broke my heart, the era of the Dirty Bird. And I was, I hate to say it, as much obviously as I wanted the Falcons to win, they were so out of that game and you could see it. Yeah, the score, we were only down by 10, but there was nothing about that Denver game that led you to believe that we were going to make a comeback. The Tim Dwight return was awesome, but there was nothing that you saw that led you to believe that we were going to come back. But I understand as a fan, period, I can understand how the emotions would get to you. Jeffrey says, man, I was 8 years old in 1980. My dad took us to that playoff game. I wanted to trip Drew Pearson as he was running down the sideline. That drill still hurts. That still hurts, I'm sorry, to this day, man. Michael says, the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl, I don't think I'll ever get over it unless we win it all. That's what it's going to take. It is. Toya says that last game against Green Bay in the Dome was the best game I've ever been to. That Dome was rocking. And Toya, I know when people hear you say rocking, they probably thinking you're saying everybody was excited, everybody was there. Yeah, the stadium was literally rocking. Rocking. Absolutely. Frankie, I see you, says, Frankie says, I remember that I went to what I thought was going to be the last game in the Georgia Dome with my son. And then we found out we were going to have a playoff game. It was almost the same thing. When we went home, well, I take that back. It was a Sunday game. The Green Bay Dallas was Sunday. Our game was Saturday night against Seattle. So when we were watching the game again, we were leaving thinking that was going to be the last game. That felt so good knowing that was it. But yeah, Toya, that stadium was rocking, literally. Lisa says, that's my memory, Steve, closing down the Georgia Dome with the win over the Green Bay to go to the Super Bowl. One of the happiest days of my life. After the game, I went to the area where the players exit, and the excitement was unreal. I remember the weather being ugly. You could hear the rain, and then when we got outside, it was still raining, but it wasn't as stormy. But you could hear the thunder, or was that the stadium shaking? After that game, that was just unbelievable. How I mean, I can't explain it. Seeing those green, and the thing was, the Green Bay fans, as Julio was making his way down the sideline on that 31 to make it 31-0, when he went to that end zone, there is no more exciting feeling to see visiting fans head to the sideline, head out the building. I mean, as soon as, because there were some people probably from Green Bay holding out hope. Well, Aaron Rodgers going to make a comeback. When we stopped them on that 3-and-out and Julio took that pass on second down and took that ball to the Dome, there's no more gratifying feeling to see visiting fans get up and leave the building. Folks, it was 13 minutes left in the third quarter. Green Bay fans were leaving in droves to get out of Atlanta because they wanted no part of that celebration that was going on. There was nothing more exciting than seeing that. Tidy says, my most surreal moment as a fan was when the clock struck 0 in the NFC Championship game and looking up at the sky, watching the confetti fall, watching the workers quickly assemble the stage on field, and just watching everyone around me cry tears of joy, knowing we closed our dome out with a victory. I was in another world at that point. Tyler, you still over there? Yeah, come here for a second. So one of the joys that I get, that I got a chance to get when my dad was growing up, or when my dad was growing up, when I was growing up, was to take me to the games, and my brother too. Don't get me wrong, I'm trying to act like it was just me. But to take us to the games and be able to enjoy those games together. One of the things I love is being able to take my son to the game, and I'm gonna let y'all holler at my boy real quick, big defensive lineman. Want to be, this is my son Tyler right here, and son, they hear me talk about it all the time, but you were there with me for that last game at the Georgia Dome. Tell the fans how you felt. And at that time, what were you? 12, 11?
That was 2016.
2016?
So,
no, 2017, literally.
Yeah, 2017. So
12.
Yeah.
So tell them your own feelings, how you felt, what the atmosphere was around the game for you.
I mean, like you said, it was just, you could actually feel the vibration. That's not an exaggeration. Just like you said, tears of, well, we're not very crying people. Tears of joy from other fans is a great.
People were hugging us.
Yeah.
That didn't know us, and being able to enjoy the and when I was talking about the Julio thing, because we had some Green Bay fans in front of us. How quickly did those Green Bay fans shake our hands and leave?
That was gone. And it was just a lot of, just, it's hard to explain the emotion. I some part of me kind of likes the Seattle game more though.
Yeah, true.
It was hard to just explain the emotion in that stadium. It was crazy, but
yeah. I and this is my oldest son right here, but I appreciate you, brother, as always. Love you, boy. We got about 4 picks to there. Thank y'all for doing that, and Dave, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I you know, that's who I share my listen, and I have the greatest football wife, so let me make sure I don't leave her out. She's upstairs, but I have the greatest football wife in the world that supports all the things we do football wise and stuff like that. So I don't want to ever leave her out, but it's something about that father-son bond or father-daughter bond going to the sports games and stuff like that. So I'm sorry. I just wanted him to come in and say that. Titan says, who are some of your mom's all-time favorite past and present? She loves Alfred Jenkins. Loved Bartkowski. I would say current day would be Julio. Unfortunately, she was a big Devonta Freeman fan, seriously. So, and of course, Mike Vick. I can't deny Mike Vick. My mom loved some Mike Vick in that day. Arlen, I appreciate your commentary. Next time in the A first rounds on me. Oh, I appreciate that, bro. Keep proving unbiased opinion about our Atlanta Falcons. Absolutely. We are 4 picks away, folks, so I'm not ignoring that. Titus says 91 Braves loss is the only sporting event that made me shed tears, and I'll tell you, that was a close one. Yeah, watching that game 6 where my man got deked out there. Was that game? Was it actually game 7 when he got deked? It might have been. I think it was game 6 though. But yeah, that was one of the best World Series of all time. Absolutely. Christian says one of my pissed off moments when we gave Carolina their first loss of the season. I was confused on how the hell we had a losing season. And we didn't have a losing season. Remember, we were 8-8 We were 8-8 that year. We weren't losing. We had an 8-8 that season, but we won the first 5, so it seemed like we were losing. But yeah, when you talk about a moment, Christian, absolutely one of the greatest catches I've ever seen in person, because we were playing them tough. But boy, Julio was a man on that catch. And that was one of those another moment that everybody just lost. There, Kyle Trask is going to the Buccaneers. A lot of people thought that might be interesting. But you know what? This is a sneaky pick from Tampa Bay. That's a sneaky pick because they know eventually they got to Brady's going to be gone in the next year. But that's fine. Trask is fine. I don't know. I don't know if Trask was the guy for us anyway. So let them have him. Anyway, yeah, that was one of the greatest catches of all time. Absolutely. Toya says, dang, the Super Bowl lost talk kind of making me depressed. I think we should have got counseling after. It still hurts. I'm sorry, Toya. We didn't mean to bring it up as negativity. I'm trying to get those joyful and sad moments for you. But trust me, you're not the only one. David says, the shellacking we took at the hands of Green Bay in 2011. I watched us unravel like cheap yarn. Yeah, it just broke my heart. And there was something about that 2010 team. Every single person told us we weren't good enough to win the Super Bowl. And I kept saying, well, we're 13-3. We're 13-3. And we got exposed. Yeah, that hurt. That pick 6 right before halftime, that pretty much sealed the deal, because I think we were going in for the tying touchdown. I think we were going in for the tying touchdown. And when he did that pick 6, it was over. Willie says possible Trey Sermon. We can look at that. Absolutely. But Trey Sermon, I would not hurt my feelings. We are 3 picks away, folks. 3 picks away from the 3rd round pick. Lisa said, I'm going to rewatch the Green Bay games. Steve got me hyped. That's what I'm saying. That's a hype game. If you want to get hyped about the Falcons, go back and rewind that. We are 3 picks away. Jacksonville is making their pick. It is Andre Cisco of Syracuse. So we are up. We got Minnesota, Houston, and then it is our turn. Andre said he's watching it now. Toddy, you can certainly feel the vibrations. It was something you had to be there to understand. We can tell that story all day, Toddy, but you're absolutely right. A full, solid stadium. And I'm telling you, if there was a Richter scale out there, it had to be in the 5s, at least 5s or 6. I've never been in a California type earthquake or anything, but that bad boy, that bad boy was pretty strong. Going here, Kyle Trask, definitely. Good for Tampa Bay though, for them to get Trask. I hope Trask end up playing this year, so Tom Brady is on the bench. Dave said that's a very sneaky pick. Falcons could be behind the 8 ball when it comes to future quarterbacks. Again, there are a couple of quarterbacks still out there, so not totally throwing in the towel on a chance of getting somebody else in here. We will see. Andre say, I hate y'all. I've been a Falcon fan my whole life and never lived close enough to go to a game. Stop talking about being there on these amazing days. Well, Andre, the only thing is, and I'll say, unfortunately, we haven't had that signature Mercedes-Benz moment yet. We haven't. Matter of fact, I don't think we really had the Green Bay game to open the stadium, the Sunday night game that opened it the second week of 2017. I'll probably say that's our signature moment. Maybe the game that my man got the 6 sacks against Dallas, because any chance you beat Dallas is good, because that was that same year. Adrian Claiborne was playing against the third string East Coweta High School left tackle and got the six quarterback sacks in the one game. That was probably it. But yeah, Andre, the Georgia Dome moments were definitely special. Absolutely special. I'm glad there were other moments, and thank you all for giving those moments. Christian said, when I went to my first Falcon game, I didn't realize how lit Vic had the dome on his breakaway runs. And oh yeah, move, get out the way, get out. That was more TJ Duckett's little theme song when he would come in and close the deal when we had the DVD and TD and when he would come in the game. Move, get out the way, get out. Oh man, yeah, that was when it was actually out too. So that was pretty good. Justin Hutchinson says the 98 NFC Championship game with Morton Anderson hitting the field goal. I wish the comeback alone to take the game to overtime was awesome. Because I'm gonna tell you, Minnesota loss, that was their shoot. It might be their 28-3, because that team was loaded. They were gonna kill Denver, in my opinion. But whatever the defensive plan was against the Vikings that day, the Falcons did was awesome. Because that offense was putting up points like nobody's business. Randall Cunningham was killing folks. But that particular year, we had such a good game plan for them. Justin said they were 15-1. Shoot, we were 14-2. It wasn't like, and speaking of which, John Randall, on cue, John Randall coming up here to talk about the Vikings pick. That was an awesome comeback. Totally awesome comeback. And he was in that game. And he was one of the best. Pancho said he had, talking about Adrian Claiborne, he had 8. Oh! So much for the Kellen Mond thing. Oh my goodness, they snuck the Falcons and got Kellen Mond. So wow. Okay. So and here's where I'm gonna rewind back to yesterday just a little bit. And again, I'm past it. But wow. So now, if I look at the list that they potentially have for quarterback, you have David Mills out of Stanford. They still have Jamie Newman at number 2, which would make Bulldog fans happy here. Ian Book from Notre Dame. I never really got around to being an Ian Book guy when he was there. Felipe Franks from Arkansas, the cast-off from Florida, and Sam Ellinger from Texas. So that's what you're looking at. I got a sneaky suspicion you can get any of those guys in the 4th round. It's especially since we got 2 4th rounders. I think any of those guys can be had then. But that's pretty interesting right there. Kellen Mond, that is something else. Yeah, I mean, Justin said they might hold out till next season. I wish I had more tape on Jamie Newman to think about it, but now your focus might end up going to running back. You still have Trey Sermon out there. You still got Michael Carter. And you still got Kenny Gainwell from Memphis. So, yeah, that's a pretty interesting move right there. Yeah, Brick, I hear you. That is. Frankie says I'm good on Mon. Jimbo didn't even trust him, but you know what? You say what you want to say, but you know Mon still had him one step from the. I mean, not by himself, but he still had him close to getting to the playoffs game. So. Hey, David said we might as well not look for our future quarterback until 2022. Michael says, I don't feel like they want a quarterback. They might not. They might not. I mean, and it's true. The Texans are in here. Now, the Texans are in an interesting pickle because keeping it super real, we don't know the status of Deshaun Watson right now. And I don't want to bring negativity all into it from that sense, but you know, we honestly don't know how that's going to look. So maybe they end up going in that direction. Tidy says either Patrick Jones or Elijah Molden for the next pick, and that could be true too. That could be true. The Texans are making their pick. Molden would be definitely a help out of Washington. So yeah, possibly looking at this guy want to sit up here and preach up on the Texans pick. Bruh, go on with the pick so we can get to the Falcons, man. What are you talking about? Let's keep it moving. So Christian says, I'm hearing the Ravens are going to let Lamar hit the market next year. Is that a guy we should be looking at? Here's the problem. If you okay, David Mills. So there is a run on backup quarterbacks at this moment. It does not shock me, as I told y'all before, with the uncertainty of what's going on. And I know they got somebody else earlier this year in Houston, but with the uncertainty of what's going to go on with Deshaun Watson, it might not be a bad idea for them to do that. So, yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, Andre says, yeah, sad after this weekend, no football for 3 or 4 months. Yeah, well, we got the schedule release, which again, it might be a little anticlimactic, but of course, the schedule release, that's when, as Toya was talking about, knowing what games and what time of the year some of these things are going to happen. That's probably the next significant event from a football standpoint, trying to see who when the games are going to be. Okay, folks, who y'all got? We already talked about it. We got, do we go running back? Do we go cornerback? The pick is in. Do we go running back? Do we go cornerback? Do we go quarterback? You know, I don't know. I think the money might be on cornerback or running back. And even at running back, the only person I thought about is Trey Sermon. So we shall see. Coming up to the mic right now, the Atlanta Falcons. Let's see. Okay. Offensive tackle, Jalen Mayfield. Listen, hey, again, in order to run the ball, you need to have an offensive line, an offensive lineman. And right now, that's one of our positions that we're saying, hey, we need some help. So you're looking at big guy on the right. And you kind of wonder, are they doing this for depth or what? I just said, where do they find it? What trailer park? Y'all are horrible. Well, listen. I don't know what the scouting is on this guy. I honestly don't. Yeah, I would have loved to see a running back. Would you say so? Yeah, okay, this is gonna have to be one of those trust picks. Jalen Mayfield out of Michigan, offensive tackle. We have Jake on the left. We have McGarry on the right. Is there a thought, as folks were talking about, moving Jake in to guard? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe that might be it. Or this just could be the Falcons saying, we're not as great as we think we are on the offensive line, and we just need to get enough folks in here. Titus says, who made the pick to Metro? Y'all are wrong. Yeah. And Christian says, all this is telling me Arthur wants Matt walking out in the sunset with a chip. Justin says lineman picks are never sexy. They aren't. Isaiah said I was hoping for Jabril Cox. Norman, really, Falcons, really? He played 2 games last year, but hey, let's ride. Michael says, I feel like they don't have a plan, a guard, not a running back or quarterback. Ricky says, can we move up? Well, they do have 2 fourth round picks left. So the Falcons right now, Falcons right now, we have 2 fourth rounders, and they're pretty early. We have 2 fifth rounders, 1 early, 1 late. I'm sorry. We have 3 fifth rounders. The 4th in back-to-back picks, and then we have 1 6th rounder. We gave away the other 6th rounder that we have. So we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 picks left for tomorrow. So it is not like all is lost. But again, folks, remember, we basically didn't have enough people to fill the roster before free agency. We haven't gone out there and spent a plethora of money. So a lot of these folks right here that we're laughing at, we got to fill the roster with somebody. At this point, this is where your scouting team comes in, and this is where you hope that your scouting team is doing their job, a better job, hopefully, than the previous regime. But we need to hit on these picks as backups. We never talk about how important the backups are until somebody gets hurt. So now that we're doing this, I mean, look, we're not going to know until somebody goes down and then they end up putting them on the field. Dominique says, still no running back. Christian, we shopping on a Dollar Tree budget. Isaiah, Joseph Osai was still on the board. Tidy, we could have drafted a projected rookie starter there based on what was available. Rob Joy, so Fontenot just go waste the rest of our picks. Andre, and we still have 4 comp picks left. Thomas, good pick for young old linemen that can learn the game together with some good vets building through the draft. Justin, terrible pick. We didn't even need a guard, though, at 3rd. This is a bad pick, period. Andre, remember the Aints have had a good squad for the last few years, and we took their guy. Michael, we made a splash. Now we in cement. Justin, we had too many other holes. Lisa, so it's looking like the honeymoon for today is over with Fondo and Fields. Let's see what tomorrow will bring. Not in love right now. Listen, and that's what I was saying, y'all. Look, and look, for all y'all talking all that junk, I want apologies. Y'all were dogging me out for making light of the pick yesterday with Peels. With Pitts. And now y'all all losing faith. Let's go offensive line. Oh man. Oh, Chadwick, how you doing, my friend? No, look. I know they have a plan. I'm hoping that plan works out. I really do. This is not anything that's making us feel good, but we'll see. Frankie says Arthur likes running the ball. He probably needs some durable linemen. Look, and nothing wrong with durable linemen, but you're going to need somebody to run the ball too. Right now, your backfield consists of Davis and Ollison right now. That's your backfield, unless I'm missing somebody. I mean, so we need to get some folks up in here. Andre said, I'm not. We needed an old lineman, not that high, but was needed. Brad says 3-year plan. Bows to the time to be patient. But hold on, Brad. If you had a 3-year plan, you should have drafted your quarterback last night. Don't give me a 3-year plan and no, sir. It's a win now. It's a win now plan. Don't you dare say that. Oh, yeah, Cordell Patterson. I forgot about Patterson from Chicago. Thank you, Frankie. Cordell Patterson from Chicago is on the roster. I'm hoping they use him more in the return game, but I forgot he's in play. No, sir. I don't want to hear anything about thank you, Winston. I see you on there. I don't want to hear about a 3-year plan, bro. When you got pitched yesterday, you told me as an organization, I'm trying to win right now. I don't want to hear that. Because you took me off the ledge yesterday by saying Pitts is the most awesome offensive weapon in the history of mankind. So when you say that to me, that tells me that we're trying to win in 2021. Don't come up with that 3-year plan mess. Brad said they need to get under the cap, under control. Gonna take a couple of years. I'm not saying and look, I'm not trying to tell you that you don't want to win in a couple of years, but I'm saying don't tell me about a 3-year plan and you restructured Matt and you just got him probably the most the biggest offensive prospect in the draft this year. You can't say that. You can't give me that. Can't be both ways. Can't be both ways. Justin, I actually like the first one was iffy. Brad says Pitts will be with the team for at least 10 years. Let's see how he do the first 4. You know how it goes. You want to make sure he's going to be awesome before you get him on that 5th-year option. He got slow down. Let's see how he does these first 4 years first. Let's see how that happens before we do that. Joseph says Falcons have a plan. They plan on losing. Oh, they have a plan. They have a plan on losing with Matt Ryan for years to come. Jankowski says no excuses. I don't want to hear nothing. That was my mantra yesterday, my brother. That's my mantra. Frankie said, you said we were trying to win yesterday. Look, man, I'm going by what they're saying. When somebody comes and tells me we have a 3-year plan, I'm not buying it. when you drafted Kyle Pitts, you told me that you're trying to win right now. That's what you're telling me. So I don't know. We started off strong, folks. We started off strong at safety with Richie Grant. I think that judging by from what I've seen on the TV and what I'm reading, it sounds like that might be a good move, especially that was an area of need with safety. Now we got Jalen Mayfield, 6'5", 326 pounds. They say on his analysis that he's a big right tackle. Strong drive blocker who gets a good push in the run game. Short arms for a tackle prospect. Was never good. Better run blocker than pass blocker. However, he moves well, only 20 years old. Was at college tackle, started his sophomore season at right. He did opt out of the 2020 season before opting in, but got an ankle injury to hurt to end his season. Okay. So, I mean, look, this is where you have to trust your scouting. And I'm not saying I do right now. We'll know about the scouting when they get on the field in September. Brad says Fields fell in the draft for a reason. Lance is who I wanted. Oh, I wanted Lance too. I wanted both of them. Michael says we have no money. In a few years, Pitts has to be paid. Send him to the Bears and we get Fields. That could be something too. Yeah, with these rookies, man, you don't want to start talking about, listen, unless you're in the Patrick Mahomes thing where you're giving me one MVP year and then NFL championship the next year. Yeah, let's take it 4 years at a time with these contracts. Frankie says, there goes my durability theory. Absolutely. Look, y'all, that's 2 picks for the night. I said I was going to do through the 2 picks, and I'm going to let y'all enjoy the rest. Plus, I know we probably got a couple of people coming on live in the Atlanta Bird game. Don't y'all forget, please, if you get a chance to and just being a little selfish at this time for the moment, if you get a chance, please subscribe to YouTube, Steve Sports Lounge. Be like Frankie and Chris and Dave and Perry and the rest of the folks. We're going to be doing some stuff next year, some live reaction things. So I'm still going to be in Atlanta Bird game strong, but I'm also going to be doing live reaction on YouTube so we can watch the game together during the season on YouTube. Then we'll do the after review after the game on Atlanta Bird game. So please, if y'all get a chance, go check it out. Uncle Steve Sports Lounge on YouTube. It is actually Uncle Steve Sports Lounge on YouTube. Check it out, subscribe, and we'll have some good stuff. Listen, yeah, hey, Michael said you took our word for this. Hey, Mike, you already knew, Mike, before this started that I was going to be off for this draft. I absolutely did. And hey, I have no problem with it, Mike. You already know how the grind is, my friend. I absolutely did. Listen, y'all have a great night. Enjoy yourselves. We'll be back tomorrow and go through the draft. I'll probably catch y'all right before we get into the nitty-gritty with the first of the 2 fourth-round picks we have. Until then, y'all have a good night. Thank y'all for joining me in Atlanta Bird game. Uncle Steve Sports Lounge. Thank y'all again. Have a great night. Be blessed.